Yesterday we had an amazing fellowship, which is absolutely amazing. I always get help from the fellowship, always have our fellowships, not regular church fellowship, but abnormal church fellowship, but our church. And I always get help from them. Yesterday was through the roof. Through the roof. Through the roof. And the primary theme is our theme for this year, stay present. And the theme is, you were created to be free. You were not created to live enslaved by your imagination, by your thoughts, your up and downs, the illusion of your imagination. You were made to be free. And Christ came to not to condemn the world, but to overcome the world. You can overcome the world if you want to. Most people don't want to, number one. Even a lot of people who says that they want to don't really want to. Because when you tell them what to do and in order to overcome the world, they don't do it. Oh, I started, but I stopped. Oh, I did it for a while, and then I felt better, and then I stopped. Either you want to overcome the world or you don't. It's up to you. And you cannot blame not one person for your lack of inability to overcome misery, to overcome the world. And if you notice, just think about this. I mentioned this yesterday. Think about how you were taught to be good and to do good. You were taught that. Treat everybody the way you would like to be treated. Be good, do good. And that's the last thing you have been able to do in your whole lifetime, was to be good and do good. You've not been able to do it. You tried, has not worked. I wonder why. I wonder why. So I encourage you to work on overcoming your misery, your hell. Unless you just love your hell. There are a lot of people who love their misery, and they love inflicting their misery on others. Misery wouldn't be misery for them if they could not inflict it on others and get a false sense of life from it. And they call life death. They call death life and life death. Amazing. Well, and what I've noticed, and I'm sure most of you have by now, marriages don't work. I wonder why. They don't work. I can't tell you the number of men and women who are suffering in great length as a result of being married, fighting over the children. Mothers do not want to let the fathers see their children. And the fathers are angry at the mothers for not allowing them to see their children. Just think about this. You can make babies with a woman, and she can get mad at you for whatever reason. And to punish you, she punished the children by keeping the children away from you. And now you're upset. You, the man, upset. Not only has he lost his woman, his God, but he has also lost his children, his gods, or God. Because the children meant so much to him, and anything or anyone that means more to you than what is right is your God. It's a false God, but it is your God. And when you lose your God, you catch pure emotional, mental and emotional hell because you lost your false God, whatever it might be. And instead of overcoming that, you look for another false God. Because your false God tell you, oh, that one didn't work, get another one. And because you've been listening to false gods, you follow that one too, and you get another one. And the same thing repeats itself. Or even worse. Well, apparently, according to the New York Post, January often sees a rise in breakups. Happy Divorce Month. Happy Divorce Month. January often sees a rise in breakup with the first working Monday of the year being dubbed Divorce Day.
Yeah.
So today is Divorce Day. Happy Divorce Day.
How about
Amazing.
Divorce Month, if I may? And this is from the New York Post, just a little bit more. They're actually calling it Divorce Month. Many couples see the holiday season as the last straw for their relationship, and they tend to wait until the new year to avoid a messy holiday breakup, making January the most difficult month for couples, according to the New York Post.
Isn't that amazing? January. It's the most difficult time for couples. That's when they break up. So let's stay married until January. And the first week, the first Monday, let's break up. Amazing, huh? And here's a little bit more from the article. According to a psychotherapist, here's the reason why divorce rates increase in January.
Okay, so this says the stress of spending time with relatives, cooking an elaborate meal, and the giving and receiving of presents can be overwhelming for some people, she added. They hang on for the Christmas period, often for the sake of their children and family, but the threads of their relationship unravel shortly after. Jeez. The reason this occurs is we may have tolerated our partner, their behavior, family, or friends, and once the end of the year is upon us, we reassess what the year has been like and often make a conscious decision to start the new year fresh. Psychotherapist Dr. Karen Phillip.
Amazing. And then by the end of that year, you're back in the same hole again. Back at Christmas, back at gotta get ready for family, back at gotta go to the events that you don't want to go to, back at buying gifts that you don't want to buy. You repeat the same thing at the end of the year, and now you gotta get another divorce. And we talked about this yesterday in fellowship. It was an amazing discussion. If you missed it, go to rebuildingaman.com/fellowship or church. You gotta do what you want, but I recommend, but do what you want. You gotta overcome this false obligation to family, friends, and relationships. We have been taught wrong, and we don't do things out of love anymore. We do them out of obligation. And you find yourself doing so many things that you don't want to do out of guilt or family or obligation or something that you've been brainwashed to believe. There's no freedom in that. You have the right, not should have, you have the right to say, no, I'm not coming to the party. Or no, I'm not buying you a gift. Or no, I'm not spending money that I don't have. And you don't even owe an explanation. Just say no. But if I just say no, they're going to think that I'm mean or they're going to dislike me. They've never liked you anyway. If they dislike you for saying no, that means they never liked you anyway. They pretend to like you because they have control over you. And you end up getting a divorce. And you end up fighting. And you end up destroying another generation of children if you have any. Because you're not free. You were created to be free. The prison cells are open. The owner of the prison gave orders to the guards of the prison to open all the gates the prison doors and let the inmates leave. And then the prison guard waited. The guards waited to see how many would leave. The gates are wide open now, the prison gates, doors, and you can just walk out. And so the guards waited for about a month before they had to report back to the prison manager how many people left. And they reported back, and maybe one left. All of the others were afraid to walk out of the prison gate because something or someone told them, oh, if you walk out, they're going to shoot you down the hall. They're just playing a trick on you. Or if you walk out, when you get on the boat to go across the river to get to land, they're going to drown you in the river. Your boat going to sink. Don't leave. Don't leave. And most people stay in their prison. And only a one, maybe two, but one get the courage to walk out of the prison. And they said, no, I'm not staying with the crowd. The crowd is weak and afraid. I'm not staying in this prison. I'm out of here. They told me I can leave. The doors are wide open. I'm leaving. But most stay back with the crowd because of fear of something else happening, even though they have permission to leave. You have permission to leave your prison. And see how many people take up the offer. And that's what happened. During the year, you live in prison, and at the end of the year, you pile on, you go in debt, run your credit cards up because the credit card company say, hey, you can use your credit card for shopping and pay later. And it sounds so good. Oh, yeah. And you have commercials to help you. Oh, yeah, I can pay later. That sounds so much easier. And you pay later. But later is deeper in debt. And now you fight with one another, and now you get a divorce. What a mess, huh? This year, I want to encourage you as an individual to work on your freedom. Work on being free. And you do that by seeking what is right inside of you. It's not outside, it's inside. And then watch the thoughts and see how much they try to imprison you. All those thoughts join forces to convince you not to walk out of prison, even though the doors are wide open. And then the people outside of you, the weak people, they try to convince you too. Don't go out there. You're going to get attacked. Don't go out there. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. And you stay in prison with the other people outside of you as well. When will you become an individual? Will you start this year out working on being an individual? Not controlled by the prisons, the inmates of your imagination, or the inmates outside of you who are lost in their imagination. And drop the anger. Anger is evil. There's not 1 ounce of love in anger. It's only fear and confusion. And if someone can make you angry, they can make you feel good. And if they can make you feel good, they can make you angry. You're not free. You are not free. Finding a free person in this country or in the world is like looking for a needle in a haystack. I was talking to one young man at the fellowship yesterday, talked to many, but one, he was like, do I have to go to the family events on the weekends, or can I just say I'm out of town? I was like, no, you don't have to say you're out of town. You can just say I'm not coming. You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie to your family member. I'm not coming, Mama. I'm not coming, brother or sister, or whatever group you got to say no to. Why not try freedom? And why not drop the anger? All that emotion is inside of you. The good emotion and the bad, both are bad, are inside of you, and you're responsible to overcome it. What a mess. And can you imagine making your wife or wives making their husband their God? And when your God is about to leave you, you fight. You fight. And sometimes to death do your part. You'll fight over money. You'll fight over breakups. You'll fight over being lonely. You'll fight over thinking that you're losing love. You'll fight over your wife or your husband being with someone else. You fight. And you call it love. Just think about that. And then you find people say, oh, yeah, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. And they validate your hell. And you repeat it. I don't know exactly what happened in this case, but according to people, a husband and a wife were in the process of getting a divorce, have died in an alleged murder-suicide in Mississippi on Saturday, December 28th. Happy New Year, huh? Here's some more of the image of the couple and their daughters. That's the couple that, according to people, died by suicide. Isn't that amazing? I know how that is. I understand how the mind works. I don't know what their situation really was, but the mind would tell you your wife or your husband's leaving you. They're going to be with someone else. Or they tell the wife, take everything he got. Look like such a nice family, right? Father, mother, husband, wife, and 2 little daughters. No sons. Here's a little bit more on the story. Watch this.
We have more breaking news now. This out of Brandon, where a husband and wife are dead following a murder-suicide. According to Brandon police, the couple was found on Toulon Street this morning after family conducted a welfare check on 30-year-old Jennifer Sheffield. Family at the scene say there were obvious signs of foul play inside the residence. Sheffield and her 40-year-old husband, Brandon Sheffield, were found inside. This is an ongoing investigation and will update you as more information becomes available.
Amazing, huh? And where's the love in that? For whatever reason they were fighting or this happened. There's no love in that. You never love one another. You call emotion love. Emotions are not love. It's not love. It's only hate. Oh, we fell in love when we met. When I first met her, I fell in love. When I first met him, I fell in love, she says. No, you fell in hell. And that's all you've been ever catching. Can you imagine your thoughts telling you, oh, you're losing this one for whatever reason? You might well kill yourself and her. And you believe it. Hell on earth, right here. Why not start this year out in the right way? Why not? Why not start it out working on you? Working on seeking what is right so that you, so you can overcome the fallen state. I have a little bit more from people on this story. The tragic incident comes after Jennifer spoke about her incredible ex-husbands while discussing their divorce in a TikTok video posted on December 10th. This is from TikTok.
So, about to be a newly single mom, and I am in the middle of a divorce. My husband is being incredible though, like really and truly, like we're working together, everything's great, we're splitting everything down the middle, like, you know, everything is good. It is a very civil divorce with our daughter in mind, and I really appreciate that. However, you know, I'm gonna be on my own, single income right now, and he will be helping with her, he will be supporting her, you know, so essentially, like, I'm really thankful for that, and that I will not have to worry so much about supporting her. However, I will be on a very limited income, with buying a new house and, you know, paying a mortgage and all that stuff. So, I've never done this before. I've never been on my own before. So, if you have any tips, saving money, making money, anything like that, like, I would really appreciate it.
Apparently it went fine with somebody. And so I don't know what happened. I don't know if this woman telling the truth about it was done fairly, everything worked out together, everybody. Apparently not, if it's true that he did a suicide on both of them. What and because women tend not to tell the truth when it comes to divorces and things like that. I don't know. But apparently something wasn't right if it's true that the husband killed the both of them. So did she like just do people pull aside the road and just do a TikTok thing from their car?
I was looking, it's the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Cause it looked like she was moving, but I guess he wasn't, right?
I think she was driving.
She was driving?
People do that. But
so she could do a TikTok how you keep your eyes on the road and do a TikTok?
Well, you could see her sort of keeping her eyes on the road. At least attempting to. But she does look at the camera.
She looks at the camera
Wait,
and looks like she takes her head.
I don't know if she's driving.
I don't think she's driving. It's just...
It sure looked like it for a moment. No, look, the background is moving. She is driving. She was stopped at a red light for a moment there.
How do you know?
Oh, see the background moving. I see it right now.
But how do you know she stopped at a light?
Well, I don't know for sure, but she was stopped for a second. That's why it looked like she wasn't. But I am now looking at her driving right now. Look at the background.
It looked like the background moving. I don't know if the car's moving past her or she's moving.
That's grass.
Look how she's taking her hands off the steering wheel.
Right. No, okay, we're getting derailed. We're trying to figure this out. I swear she stopped right now.
It looked like she stopped right. Oh,
come on.
I can't tell.
Anyways.
But that's
it's weirder that she even made a TikTok about the divorce.
Right.
That's weird to me.
It looked like she did come to a stop and then started up again. But it is amazing she put this on TikTok.
Strange.
Ain't nothing private no more. What's that?
Is that her online dating profile? Like, I don't understand what she's doing. I'm going to be...
It's all like she asking for help. So it's not clear who committed the suicide. It doesn't really say if it was the man or the woman who did it. And you almost want to assume it was the man because that woman did the TikTok thing talking about how amazing things were. So we don't know for sure. It's not clear in this particular soundbite we have. Amazing, huh? 888-7753-773. Let me go to Luke out of West Virginia. Luke, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how are you doing?
All is well, Luke.
Well, all is well with me, too. I want to, well, before I ask you a question, man, when you sing that "Don't Patronize Me" to them people, and that is amazing, Jesse. It makes me cry laughing every time you do that, man.
What a mess!
I got a problem at work, Jesse. I want you to give me some advice on what to do.
All right.
About 4 years ago, I applied for a position. My manager told me to apply for it and asked me to apply for it. It was a supervisor job. I work in the operating room. And this was over.
Don't say the name of the company, though.
Oh, I'm not saying nothing.
Okay.
But she basically said, yeah, you got the job. You know, she asked me. I put in for it. I did a resume and all that. So when it came time to get the job, you know, they gave it to this other woman. There was only four people. Well, my boss is a woman, too. And she's a liberal, and she knows I like Trump. So I think that hurt me a little bit. But, I mean, we had a good work relationship, and there was actually another nurse who who recommended me, and they all, you know, was basically saying, yeah, you're going to get it, just put in for it. So I did, and they gave it to that woman. So from then on out, you know, I talked to them. I wasn't rude to them. I was professional, but it was just strictly business. And they didn't like that at all. So they started doing little things to me. And I've been there for about 4 years, but it's kind of pretty much to the point now where it's like that same manager has like certain people she looks after, and they do nothing. And there's certain people that work in a room all day long to the end of the shift. Like you can see the favoritism, but nobody will say anything. Well, a few people spoke up about it, but they would either, you know, basically get threatened or whatever. But what do you think I should do, Jesse? You think I should stay and try to fight it, or just go somewhere else?
Number one, I would don't get angry about it at all. Stay away from anger, and don't let that potential position be that important to you. You thought you were going to get it, but you didn't? Okay, fine. You stay calm, do your work as you promised to do for the pay that you got. And then if you want another job, just quietly look around for another and move on. But if you just stay away from anger, don't be angry at her, and don't be angry at the people that she gave, or person she gave the job to, you will be fine. This year, I want to encourage you, do not let anyone or anything be that important to you that it can get you emotional. Always be willing to let it go.
I got you. And see, like, that's the thing, though. I didn't get upset about that I didn't get the job. What really got, like, I didn't understand is, like, they did all this rigmarole and basically led me on. And then, you know, if they didn't have any intentions on giving it to me anyway, why even ask me?
But that's the game that human beings play. Human beings are evil, and you cannot trust human beings. So just see it for what it is, learn from it, but you stay away from anger and do your best at work, have a good attitude, and God will be with you. God is with you. And that whole situation can change. You just never know, because if you if you stay away from anger and stay present, you're going to see that God is with you, and he's working out something even better for you than what you even imagine. So don't take it personal. Don't try to figure it out. Just know
don't worry about the people working and the same people working all the time. And
right.
Some people don't even worry about that.
As a matter of fact, take your eyes off them.
Okay.
And just keep them on you, because the devil will tell you, look at those people. They're all working together. They are doing nothing. And you'll be listening to evil in the imagination, and you'll end up destroying yourself.
I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. It's been a rough 4 years, Jesse. I mean, I was in a pretty good relationship with these people, but when I quit chit-chatting with them and, like, cutting up with them and, like, being kind of like a work personal, not personal, but, like, just basically, just was professional, they didn't like it, and they started spreading rumors and, doing this and that.
Well, now you see,
they really didn't like it.
Now you see the real people that you were having fun with, and realize they were not friends ever. They were always been evil, and they were just deceiving you. So just be glad to see that, and don't be mad about that either. and you still treat people the way you would like to be treated, meaning don't judge them, don't get angry, and you do your work, and you'll be fine.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Jesse.
And again,
it's hard to do that, but
and why?
I think that those people have immunity to anything just because it's me. You know what I mean? Like if they
But
could
why
be rude,
is
or
it
they
hard
can,
for you to be yourself in spite of what they're doing?
you want me to tell you the truth?
Yeah,
Ego,
right.
my pride.
Absolutely. And so you let that happen to your ego so you can see that you're still into your ego and overcome the ego. It's happening so you can overcome the ego. It's not for you to protect and cover up the ego. It's for you to see that you have this ego thing going on inside of you. And rather than running, overcome the ego.
Got you. Okay, Jesse.
All right?
Okay.
I wish
I'll do exactly what you said and see
Yeah.
if things get better.
And I want you to, one last thing I want you to notice, Luke, is that when you look at these people and they're doing whatever it is they're doing, they're in groups and they're doing this and doing that, if you feel anything about it at all, that's inside of you. It has nothing to do with them. They cannot make you feel something that's not already in you. So don't blame them for what you're feeling. See that this inside of you so you can overcome it. When you see it, it will be taken away from you. They're not to blame for what you think and feel inside of you. You're responsible for your own world. You're responsible for overcoming your own hell.
I got you.
That makes sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Because you look at them, and the devil makes you look at them, and he would tell you, oh, look how they're treating you. Look how hard they're making for you. Look how they're all together. And I'm just throwing out little things. And you'll be feeling certain things, and the devil will tell you, they'll against you. They're making you feel this and that. Or you feel this way because of that. Or you feel that the devil's lying to you. All that stuff is evil, and it's inside of you. So let your ego feel it, but do nothing about it, but see it, and it'll be taken away. You'll be free. In the midst of that storm, you will be made free. But if you run from it, you're just going to run into another storm. That's all going to happen.
I appreciate it so much, Jesse. I mean, I don't see how you're so right. Which I already knew the answer.
Yeah.
But what you're telling me is exactly what I've been thinking.
So start working on yourself. Start out right this year, working on you, and blame no one for how you feel on the inside.
Okay.
Because it's inside of you.
Sounds good, Jesse.
I wish you well.
Thank you, Jesse, and God bless you.
You too, buddy. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Karen, a first-time caller out of Florida. Karen, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Is it Karen? No, Karen? Karen?
Hello?
You're on the air.
Yes, sir. I know there's something wrong with me. I don't know how to fix it exactly. Like, I listen to you all the time. I've been listening to you since, 2016. Sometimes I'm okay, and I go by what you say, and I'm all right. And I'm having a problem letting someone go, and I keep letting them affect me.
And so your question...
I was just about to say, I know that's not a question. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to fix anything. I'm letting someone affect me even today that lied to my face, and I don't know how to stop letting it hurt me when I know it's in my head.
And so your question for me is what?
How do I get better?
By coming out of your head. You're only living in your thoughts, and those thoughts are giving you a false idea that you love this person when you really don't love them. You just think you
Yes,
do,
sir.
and you're thinking about when you first met him, how nice it was, and you thought he loved you, and you thought you loved
Well,
him. You're just living on memories. They're not real.
Well, to begin with, like from the whole entire time that I've known this person, I know that they're bad. And I stay away from them, and then I still let them. I have a child with this person, and I still let them talk to me sometimes, and then they come in, and I still end up getting hurt. And I don't have sex with them. I don't do nothing like that.
And how do you get hurt then if you don't have any kind of...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not letting you finish. I just let them affect me in different ways. Like if they lied to me about something, it still hurts. Things like that, and I know it shouldn't. And it's like, okay, they're bad. They're lying right to my face. And I know when they're lying to my face. And I'm still here crying. You feel me? Like, I don't know how to...
Have you heard me say to drop your anger?
Yes, sir, and I want to so bad.
And why have you done
wrong
that?
With me.
Why have you done that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm okay most of the time, and then when I let this person back in, their evilness that they have affects me. And I know it shouldn't.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
Yes, sir. I told her, I kind of copped out and was like, oh, I listened to this guy on the radio, and he tells me that, like, no matter how well you think your parents did, that you still have resentment towards them and that you need to forgive them. And I said, well, Mom, if there's anything I have against you, I forgive you for anything I have against you. And she said, oh, well, that sounds stupid. He sounds like an idiot. I said, no, he's not an idiot at all. He's a very smart man. And she just like kind of blew it off. And it was that. And
so you did not forgive her then?
I didn't.
No. That's why you're still emotional. You got to forgive your mother in spite of for what she says or anything. And then shaking in your boots, you got to forgive her so God can take the spirit of anger away from you. And once that is taken away from you, no one can affect you emotionally at all, no matter what. If they lie to you or not, if they want to be friends, fine. If they want to come by, fine. You will be fine either way, but you got to forgive so you can be forgiven.
How do I forgive her in the right way?
By truly, when you can realize that you do have that anger toward her, you're not forgiving her, you go to her and apologize for resenting her, because just as you can help yourself in your situation, your mother could not help herself. And when you realize that and forgive her, then God will forgive you, and you'll be fine. Do the silent prayer. Are you doing the silent prayer?
No, sir.
You got to work on yourself.
I know.
Why haven't you been working on yourself?
I feel like I do every single day. Not the way that you're telling me to.
And how do you work on yourself then?
I try to make sure I'm doing well by my child and like trying to stay out of any sort of anger or being upset or inside my head. And I try to stay present all the time and just be with her because I'm the only one with her all the time. So I don't have any help. So I'm just with her all the time. I don't really have, maybe when she goes to sleep is when I could do it. But I know my mom wasn't perfect. I know that even now. I kind of don't really go around her too much. I kind of stay away from her. But I don't feel like I'm holding resentment against something that I feel like she did really bad to me. So when I do forgive her, as much as that might help, I don't feel like it's going to help me with this other person that I can't seem to get out of my life. And I think it's because so bad I want a family. Like I wanted to be submissive and like really like I wanted my family to be together.
Oh, I see. So you want a family.
Yes, sir. I wanted my kid to have an actual family. I didn't want her to come from a broken home, but I know the person that is her dad is bad to me.
And why do you want that?
Because I feel like it really affects her.
But if you don't if you didn't have the anger, let's say you didn't have the anger, and
yes,
would it still affect your daughter that you're her father not together?
I think so, yes.
How would it affect her? You're not,
because I feel like she needs her dad in her life. I feel like
it sounds like you're not trying to keep the father away, right?
No, sir. I actually do the opposite. I try to get her to spend time with him, and he makes all types of excuses of, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. I don't have time. So he just never really sees her except for like once a week, maybe, something like that.
Well, stop doing all that. Don't be trying to make him be with her. You make sure that he knows that he can be with her. You're not doing it.
Well, I'm sorry. Oh, I hate cutting you. That's terrible. I know I need to listen to you out of all people. Trust me. I don't hound him. Come see her. Nothing like that. I let him know openly. Anytime you want, you can, just call me. You can come see her. I was just saying that.
Oh, okay.
When I don't push it on him. I just let him know, like, hey, she really, like, okay, because, like, for the first time in, like, a couple weeks yesterday, he finally took her for a walk for, like, 20 minutes, and I said, man, I'm so glad she got to go for a walk with you. She really appreciates it. That means a lot to her. You see what I'm saying? Like, stuff like that, but I don't push it on him. I just say, hey, I even told him, I said, I'm not judging you about it. The other day, he acted like, because I mentioned it, that, he started retaliating. I said, hey, look, it's not like that. I was like, I just want her to have time with you. I don't care to judge you. It has nothing to do with anything between us. I said, I just wanted to make sure she has time with you because you're her dad and she needs time with her dad, and that's it. But I do know a lot of it is in my head because I want my family together, and that part of it is in my head, and I know that because I wanted us to be a family.
So here's what I recommend. Stop saying any of those things to him at all.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Because you're doing it still with this idea that you're going to get the man back while pretending that the most important thing is for the daughter, when it's really for you to try to get him back.
I do believe there's underlining things of that, but there are times where I stay completely away from him, and I feel like I'm getting healthier spiritually and all of that, and the only communication I have with him is, hey, are you going to come see her? And then that's it. And then he goes with her, and that's it.
Don't even ask anymore if you're coming to see her or anything.
Okay.
He knows, according to you, he knows that he can see her. And what I recommend is
he says the opposite. If you were to ask him, he would say, "Oh, you make it difficult. You keep me from her." Like he's got a whole nother different story of excuses of why he can't see her. But
do you make it difficult?
I swear to absolutely not.
Okay.
I've never have in any way.
But
no lies at all.
You may be making it difficult because he knows that you want him back.
No. He comes to me trying to get us to be. He wants to be with me, and he was even here just yesterday trying to be with me. And I kept saying like, no, because I know you're not. Like, you know what I mean? And then I was like asking him about something that he was lying right to my face about, and I knew he was lying about it.
So then why are you crying then if you know that, if he wanted to be with you, but do you want to be with him?
I do. I just know he's a bad person, and that's my problem is I know I can't be with someone that'll lie right to my face, and I know it's in my head because I know I still want to try to work my family out, and I still want to be with him, and I still keep going and like giving him a chance. And then when I give him a chance, I don't sleep with him. I do nothing like that.
Nice.
But just going around him. I haven't slept with him in I can't even tell you how long, probably a couple years.
Okay, here's what I recommend.
I'm celibate. I don't even do any of that. But when I do go around him, like he does bad things, and I'm like reminded again because he's one of those people that are like off and on. He's got this bipolar thing where he's very nice and sweet and loving and honest, and then all of a sudden goes into this really bad evil person. I'm like, okay, so the evil person must be the real person.
Karen.
Yes, sir.
Calm down.
Sorry.
Take a breath.
I know. I'm feeling crazy right now.
Take a breath.
Sorry. I'm not always like this.
Here's what I recommend you do if you want to be free.
Yes, sir.
Start doing the silent prayer. Stay out of your thoughts so you can forget about the memories of this guy and you can deal with him in the present and you'll be fine. Yes. But you got to stay out of your imagination.
See, what the thing is like regularly, I don't sound like, if I were to call you tomorrow, I would sound completely different and calm and regular.
But you should be regular all the time, not just sometimes.
Exactly. And then every time it's like he's coming around me like, oh no, everything, I love you, that there's this and this and this. And I'm all like, okay, I know something's off. And then it's like, I catch him in another lie. And I'm like, okay, this person's evil. And I try to remind myself, this person's evil. But it's like the evilness creeps in and I start feeling my anger again, like on a daily basis when the person ain't even around because it's like the evilness is creeping in or something.
Stop judging him.
I tried that too.
But you haven't. Stop judging the man. He can't help himself. Just as you can't help yourself, he cannot help himself. It's enough for you to see what's going on.
That's why I know I need to stay away from him.
Right. But don't judge him.
Yeah, and when I do that, I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna, like, that has nothing to do with me. It's not his fault or whatever. It has nothing to do with me. Like, what he does, even if it's lying, has nothing to do with me, and I just leave him alone. It's like, I just don't know how to describe it. I don't know. It's like I still let him creep back in, like, even if it takes weeks or months, and then I let him creep back in and tell me all the same things of why it was only this, and downplay all the stuff he was doing.
But why, because of time, why do you need to believe him either way? You're not going to be back with him. It's not going to happen. And so why you need to believe it? If he's telling you the truth, fine. If he's not, fine.
I think deep down, I still want that. I still want to be with the father of my child.
And that's why you're having the problem, Karen, because you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to want for anything.
I agree, and I don't know how to stop sometimes. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll go days or weeks or months being in my normal state, and then when he creeps back in, I do this again. And it happened again this morning where he's like lying right in my face over and over. And then I called you because it's like sometimes when I get like this, I don't know how to stop. Like, I'm literally calling him over and over again. And he's like, leave me alone. Just don't have nothing to do with me because I'm a bad person. And I'm still calling him, like, crying. So I called you because I'm like, I don't know who to call.
Amazing. Listen, calm down. Go and take a breath, do the silent prayer so you can come out of your imagination. You'll be fine.
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, what do I do in the future when I keep doing this? Because this has been going on for 5 years, sir.
Right, but if you stay with the prayer, stay out of your imagination, we'll all end just like that.
Then I won't let him back in anymore? I won't let him around me anymore?
Absolutely.
Okay, what do I do as far as, like, wanting us to be a family? Because I do feel like that.
Stop wanting that.
When it comes to, like, when it comes to a child and being in a family and having the dad and mom around, I know that affects them being raised by the single mom.
Karen.
Yes, sir.
Forget about all that.
Don't you find that important, sir?
No. Forget about it. You need to work on you so you can overcome judging your ex and judging yourself and feeling this way. And then, because it's not like that. You're not with him. It looks like he's never going to be. Why not accept reality so you can overcome the false ideas that you have in your mind?
I think because neither one of us end up being with anyone else. He doesn't sleep with anyone else, and I don't sleep with anyone else because I think we both still really want our family together. But he's a bad person, and we know we can't be together, but we still end up in the end, like, trying to because we want to have I think we're both like that.
Karen, forget about him, what he wants, and you work on you, overcoming what you think you want.
Yes, sir.
So start doing the silent prayer. And so you can stop looking at him and judging him. He can't help himself, whatever going on. And you just work on you, and you'll be fine. You're responsible for your own world.
Okay.
Stop looking at him. Stop wanting him. Stop expecting anything from him. And just work on you so you can come out of your hell.
I've done that in the past, and I always end up messing up again like I did today. I've done that in the past, and I start, like, the last couple of days I was feeling so good spiritually and everything, and my anger was going so far down, and I was feeling so good, and then I let him back in.
Stop crying. Just come back to working on you, and you'll be fine.
Okay. I'll probably call you back in the future because I imagine I'll end up here.
Okay.
I've been listening to you. I just want to say real quick, I've been listening to you for so many years. I respect you so much. I've been listening to you since like 2016. You really helped me out so much. I'm gonna hurry and get you. I know you got to get off the phone, but I do. I love you.
I love you too.
I love you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for taking my call.
You're welcome. Bye now. Jeffrey, it's a first-time call out of Tennessee. Jeffrey, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Jesse.
Hey, Jeffrey.
I was calling to answer the biblical question.
Are you living from your mind or from your spirit?
I believe I'm living from my mind because that's all I know how to do. But I have a question about that. I've been doing the silent prayer and everything, and I still think I'm living from my mind.
And why do you think that you're still living from your mind? Why do you think that?
Because I don't even understand what living from your spirit means.
I understand that. Amazing. And because it's a biblical question, I'm going to have to be limited in what I tell you about it, but I do want to tell you something about it. All right?
Yes, sir.
Living, I'm almost have to answer the question, but I got to. Living from your spirit means to always live in right now and not in your head thinking about the past or the future, but always right now and nothing else exists but now.
Yes, sir.
Have you gone and forgiven?
I did. I don't know if I did it right, but I did.
What happened?
I forget. My mom started crying, and
When they crying, they lying.
and my dad was just looking. He was just looking at me, but he didn't really it didn't really do nothing. Like, it didn't really. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. And I started listening to you during the pandemic.
Right.
I've been doing the silent prayer on and off since for about 5 years now.
Nice.
And this last time for about 6 months straight.
When did you say to your mother when you went to her?
Let me see if I can remember. I was just we don't have the best. Me and my parents don't have the best relationship.
Nobody
and
does.
I just said, true. And I just apologized for treating them the way I treated them over the years. And my mom, she asked me, was it because they sent me away for a little bit, and my mom was asking me if that was it, and I was like, no, I didn't like y'all before y'all sent me away. So I didn't know, but I honestly tried. I don't know but now, like, I listen to you a lot, and now I see, like, I don't know my dad's side of the family. And my mom was like, it was too dangerous to go down there. But now I think that it was her trying to keep me away from my dad's side of the family.
Absolutely.
I have another question. I'm sorry. I was just listening to you on the thing on hold, and you were like, don't blame anybody for your feelings. So if my wife is driving me crazy, I don't blame her?
No. Because if you were not already crazy inwardly, meaning that you were not angry or you can see what's going on, that would not be in you, and there's nothing that she can do to drive you crazy. She's only driving you crazy because you're already crazy.
Okay.
That's why you have to overcome emotions. You have to overcome anger. You have to overcome a false feeling of love. You have to overcome all that. And so when you do that, and you will if you stay with it, the world, meaning people, cannot touch you. You can go anywhere in this whole wide world and be a free man. So you got to overcome your anger because you're married to your mama, by the way. The same spirit that's in your mother is in your wife.
Yes, sir. And you said never make a decision.
Right.
And how do you never make a decision?
By not making them.
So, like, I want a different job. That's, how do I go? What do I?
Just see
is
that
that
you.
a decision?
Yeah, just see that you want a different job. The opportunity to present itself to move forward, and then look for a different job. That's all.
Okay.
Because it's the opportunity that showed you or presented itself to let you know that you want a different job to make more money or to whatever, right? And just do it without even thinking about it. And that is a practical decision. That's opportunity. Even that was given to you by God. It wasn't your own thinking.
Yes, sir. And you always say, do what's right. How do we know what's right?
By staying present. You can't do what's right until you be right. And you be right when you overcome your anger and your ego. You will be right. And when you right, you can't help but do right. But you got to overcome the ego first. I mean, overcome the anger, and then the light would destroy the ego nature, which is not you, and you will always do right as well. How do you
Yes,
deal
sir.
with your wife
What do you mean how I deal with it?
when she's driving you
I
crazy?
think about leaving. That's what I do.
You have children with
That's what
her?
I do. Yes, sir. Matter of fact, I'm taking my son to the recruiter today. I was going to ask you about that. He's going to the recruiter. He's 18,
Uh-huh.
and I heard you say things about the military before, and I was wondering, now that the Great White Hope is back, do you think the military is a viable option now? I know you said it
I
wasn't
believe,
before.
I don't know until we see what happened, but I believe now that Donald Trump is back, the military would be a nice place to go. But right now, with the Democrats in control and this black guy running it, ain't no way I'll put my dog in the military. But, but now that Donald Trump is back, things should be getting better.
Okay, and I don't know how to deal with my wife.
You
I
know-
really am like the biggest beta. I like hate myself.
Hold on a minute, okay?
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Amazing. Let me go quickly back to Jeffrey, a first-time call out of Tennessee. Jeffrey, you say you hate your wife?
I ain't say I hate my wife. I just said I don't know how to deal with her.
Oh, but I thought you said you hate her.
I mean, I do, but I don't want to say that on the radio.
You already said on the radio. On the radio. And why do you hate her?
I said what I said was she drives me crazy, but
You said that you a major baiter, but I thought I heard you say you hate her.
no, I said she drives. No, the question was I blame, like you said, don't blame anybody. And I said, so I don't blame my wife for driving me crazy. And you said I was already crazy. There was crazy already in me.
Right.
She can't. Yeah, that was the conversation.
And so why do you hate her?
I just feel like she's like ruined my life. I feel like the things I had to do with my son when I was raising my son's 18 now, and it was things that, because she's an orphan, and so she having her as trying to raise my son, and I was full-time military at the time, and it was hell. It was absolute hell. And I talked to you before. You did a counseling, so this story is going to sound familiar. And then one day she asked me to have a baby, and I was like, no, I don't really want one. And then next thing I know, she just popped up pregnant. And then I find out she was taking all of these medicines to get pregnant behind my back. And I'm really just doing this because I don't want my son to come from a broken home. But it seems like he's grown now, but it seemed like the more and more I tried to help him, he just ended up, he damn near don't even like me. It just seems like it made it worse. And I was trying to do the right thing. That's why I asked you what's right.
Oh, I see.
Because I was trying to do the right. And to me, that was right.
But you were trying not to raise them in a broken home, but you raised them in a broken home.
And I see that. And he still don't like me.
Right, because you and that wife wasn't one. You were broken. And that's why things didn't work for you. What made you stay with her for so long? Why not get away from her in the beginning when you realized what you had married?
Because I'm retired military, and when you military and you have a baby by someone and you just in one of these random duty stations, if you leave, you may never see that baby again. And so, I just decided to, I just wanted to keep my son around.
But it didn't do you any good or the son for you to want that. You're saying the son don't like you anyway now. The mother screwed him up anyway, right?
Yes, sir. I mean, hindsight is 2020. I was 18 at the time, and
Yeah.
I'm black, and I just
You
didn't
black.
want to be the stereotypical deadbeat dad. But guess what I'm about to be now?
All right.
The stereotypical deadbeat dad because of this baby. And I know now that I can't do that, but that's why I asked you, how do you know what's right? Because I don't know. I felt like I was trying to do the right thing, but it was right for it. I don't know.
Right.
I guess it wasn't the right thing.
It wasn't. The one thing I want you to know, in spite of what you've gone through with this woman, according to what you've said, is that it's still not her fault that you feel the way you feel, because you were already screwed up when she met you, and she was screwed up when you met her. And so two screwed up people got together and created more hell, and then they made a baby in hell, and now that baby created more hell, right? And so
Yes, sir.
this woman is not to blame. And I know I believe you when you say she was difficult. And the only reason that you couldn't deal with her in the right way was because you can't deal with you in the right way. If you can deal with your world in the right way within you, you can deal with all people in all situations in a perfect way. But it starts with you first.
Yes, sir.
So here's what I recommend, that you stay with the silent prayer, and from this day forward, never blame her or anyone for the way you feel. If you want to overcome her, if you want to overcome the hell in you, you got to stop blaming anyone for the way you feel, because what is happening inside of you, in your imagination and in your emotions. If you didn't have those things, then no one can make you feel any kind of way. So you got to stop blaming her for that.
Yes, sir.
And I want to encourage you to just watch what you're thinking and feeling and do nothing about it, so you can die from those feelings. God would take all of those feelings. They're not from him, right? They're all demons and they're evil. He will take them away from you.
Yes, sir.
And you'll be free. And if you want to stay with this woman, you'll stay. And if you want to leave, you'll leave. You'll just leave.
But how would I make that decision? You say ain't no decision to make. I would just leave.
Right. You'll see that you have the wrong woman. It was never meant for you to be with her. And you'll be able to walk away from it.
Yes, sir.
And the only reason you have not walked away from it, because you didn't make them up, but Satan made up these dumb ideas of why you should stay. Oh, you have a son with this woman. Or if you leave the military, you're never going to see your son again. Or the money thing will change. Or whatever. You will listen to evil, and evil kept you in your hell, in that physical hell and in your mental hell. You got to stop consulting. You got to stop believing thoughts. They're all lies all the time.
Yes, sir.
And when you stop believing thoughts, you can't help but believe God.
Yes, sir.
His voice would be the only one that you would listen to, and not the
Yes,
devil's
sir.
voice.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about that?
I believe you. It sounds good. It sounds good.
But
Easier said than done.
You only have one child with this woman?
No, I have two. You must have missed that part. That's the part that I was saying. I'm gonna end up being a deadbeat dad anyway. I don't think you caught that part.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because
I have another one.
How old is that one?
4.
Oh. Yeah. One thing that fathers do, which is a big mistake, and once again, it's because they're listening to their imagination and their thoughts. They stay with these women because, they try to stay with them, because they have children. They're afraid of losing their children. And when they do that, they have put the child before God. They have put the child before what is right. And whatever you put first in your life is what's going to control you. and then you're still going to end up losing the child anyway. If the mother's that kind of person, most mothers are, they control you by keeping your child away from you, or making it difficult for you to see your child or whatever, right? And it's because they know that that child means more to you than God himself. And they use that against you. That's what the world would do to your family members, your friends, whatever's important to you. That's what they'll use against you to try to control you. Well, you must not. If you want to be free, you must not. You cannot. You ain't not. Will not love anyone or anything, including yourself, more than what is right. You must put that first in your life. You must put God first. The Spirit of the Father must be first. Otherwise, the world will control you and you will never be at peace.
Yes, sir.
So just watch those thoughts. And if you got to leave, go. But don't blame her for what you feel. She got her problem, you got yours, and they are inside of each one of you. And she has her own, has nothing to do with you. You have your own, has nothing to do with her. And you'll be fine if you stop blaming. Your parents were the reason you became that way, but you are the reason that you have not overcome because you have not let go of the anger. You have not let go of the thoughts.
Yes, sir.
So work on that and you'll be fine.
Yes, sir.
And if you got to leave, only you, not her, not me, or not anyone can make that decision. You do what you see you need to do. And don't follow the rules of the world because the world has set us up. They have told us, you got to stay there. You're not a man if you don't stay there. You're not a good man if you don't fight for your kids in court. You're not, they're lying to you.
Telling me now.
Yeah, they're lying to you. They are setting you up to suffer even more so. Do not cut the baby in half. Let the baby go. And you seek the kingdom of God and you'll be fine.
Yes, sir.
Because they'll have you, these losers that tell you, oh, you need to fight. What kind of man that don't fight for his children, right? They're setting you up because they're losers. And they're just setting you up to waste all your money and your time. And then you're still becoming even emotional because you fought for your kids. You still don't get them.
And they still don't like me.
Right, and they still don't like you. Why not let them go?
I'm taking them to the recruiter after we get off the phone. But no, I wish I ain't gonna say I wish I did, but it didn't work. It didn't work the way I thought it was going to.
It's never going to work the way you think it's going to work. Thinking that it's going to work will make it not work. But if you just have a wait-and-see attitude and let it work on its own without your effort at all, it will work. But if you try to make it work, it ain't going to work. You, me, or no one is supposed to be working on trying to make anything work. Either it works naturally or it doesn't work at all.
Yes, sir.
So stop trying to make it work. It ain't going to work.
Yes, sir.
Let me know how it goes. I wish you well.
Yes, sir. You have a good day. Thank you for the call.
And thank you, too.
All right.
Amazing. Let me go over to Indiana and talk to a first-time caller, ALIYANA. Let's see here.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, ALIYANA,
Hi,
welcome
Jesse.
to the show.
Hey,
Hey.
I have 3 questions for you.
Okay.
The first one is, I hear you a lot on TV saying to be ourselves, but I'm trying to figure out how do we be ourselves if we have to learn from our parents.
Oh, that's a really good question. The way you be yourself, you got to overcome your parents. You got to forget what they have taught you because they have taught you wrong. And once you do that, you will become yourself by not trying to be yourself. When you're not trying
I don't understand.
I'm sorry?
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Oh, okay. But which part you don't understand?
Um, almost everything.
Have you noticed that everything that your parents have taught you, except for how to work, if they taught you that, but everything they've taught you have been wrong?
Yeah.
And so you have to unlearn that. You have to let that go and don't try to be that. Don't try to live up to that. You let all that go. And then once you let it all go, all of your little moral values and codes and things that you have been taught, which never work and they never will work, and you've been trying to live up to them and they never will work. Once you let all that go, clear your mind of all of that, then you can be yourself. You'll be free.
Amazing.
Amazing.
There's also
Is that clear?
yeah, I understand.
You got to drop all of your learned morals and values and codes. And once you drop that, then real life will take over, and then you can live. You can be yourself.
Yeah. I have two more.
Okay.
How did you figure out how to get closer to God?
By asking Him to let me see myself, let me know myself, because I didn't really, though I was going to church and I was doing all those things, I didn't know myself. I still had fear and insecurity and worries and things like that. So I asked Him to let me see myself, and He did. And when he allowed me to see myself, that's when things start to change. The problem with mankind today, men and women, human beings, they don't know themselves. They have no clue at all who they are. And so they're living a fake life, the life that they've been told to live that doesn't work. And they're not living themselves. They're not being themselves because they don't know who they are. But God would allow you to see if you ask.
And last question. Why do you talk to people on the phone as your job?
Why do I talk to people on the phone at my job?
Yeah, like this is your job. I think I'm assuming.
Never assume. But I don't understand the question. What do you mean, why do I talk to people on my... How old are you?
I'm 10. I'm almost 11.
Oh. So you talk to people on your job. I talk to people at my job on the phone because
yeah.
If I try to talk to them like yelling from one building to another, they won't hear me.
No. All right. Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome. Happy New Year, all right?
Thank you. You too.
All right. Amazing. I didn't realize you were 11 years old. What the? Let me go to Canada and talk to Carlos, a first-time caller out of Canada. Carlos, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you doing?
All is well.
Alrighty. So I got a question for you, Jesse.
Okay.
I'm trying to forgive my mother.
Speak up just a little bit.
Okay, how's that now?
Okay, that's much better. Go ahead.
Alrighty. So now I'm trying to forgive my mother, but she's being very resistant towards me. She's trying to avoid contact with me because I always felt this sense ever since I was growing up that she has a lot of hell in her. Because every time I would reach out to different kinds of adults to find that, because we didn't grow up the best. We grew up in a very violent environment at home where she would abuse us verbally and physically. So I was just wondering, like, should I be able to forgive her even though she's trying to resist me?
Meaning that, are you saying that you can't communicate? She won't talk to you at all?
Yeah, we were having that connection, but when I would post, because she has me on social media, and I would post pictures of me and my fiance's parents, like hanging out, spending time together, and she would get like very jealous. And I noticed that through my childhood that like if I had like adult influences that were positive, she would get very jealous and angry towards me. So I just wanted like, and as I listened to your show, I could realize that I could see the hell in her, that she was always very jealous and very angry person.
Have you
So
tried? Have you tried to like maybe call her or go to or FaceTime or go see her at all to talk to her?
See now, what it is so I'm living in Canada right now, but my family and I were originally from Houston, Texas. So I can't see her in person, and I have tried reaching out to her, but she even blocked me on like different ways of trying to communicate with her. And I even reached out to my older brother, but my older brother could do so much, So I was just wondering, like,
well, if you cannot communicate with her at all, then you just realize I can't communicate with her, and then forgive her. Don't hold any anger toward her because she could not help herself. Her mother set her up in the same way she set you up. So you forgive her by realizing just as you can't help yourself, she can't help herself. You can't change yourself. She can't change herself. And when you realize this about yourself, it will cause you to understand her, and then you can forgive her if you can't, you can't talk to her. Just let it go and move on with your life.
I understand. And
but just don't be.
Thank you for.
Yeah, just don't be angry at her. Just like something is controlling you, that same spirit is controlling her. And if she could have done better, she would have.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, and I realized that too because before, I went to go forgive my father because I was able to reach contact with him, and it felt like so good. I mean, so much better. Like a big weight would just lift it off my shoulders.
Well, just forgive her, and your heart will be free of hate, and you'll be fine.
Thank you, Jesse. And I just want to say thank you for what you do.
Right on.
I mean, especially in my...
Hold on, buddy. Let me take a quick break. Hold on. Back in a moment. Sorry about that. I want to go quickly back to Carlos out of Canada. Carlos, thanks for holding. Go ahead.
Yes, Jesse. Thank you. My last thing was I just wanted to say thank you for what you do. Like you're freeing people's minds from, all this anger. And because I've been listening to your show for about 2 years now.
Yes.
And I've just taken your advice, and it works. Like I understand it. And like I said, I went to go forgive my father, and everything was just lining up properly, like puzzle pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, what the? Because I'm used to everything just being so it's such a mess,
Yeah.
So, and to see everything just going clear, it feels pretty good. I'm still working on myself. I just listened to your silent prayer just last night, just to figure out how to do it properly, and I'm going to start putting that into effect today.
Well, you stay with it. Now that you're forgiven, your heart will be made new. You will have a heart of love rather than a heart of stone. And then if you stay with it, just stay present, God's going to change your old nature from evil to love, to his nature. And it's just going to get better. It'll be clearer and clearer, and you will be free. Right here on earth, you will have perfect peace. So you stay with it, all right?
Thank you, Jesse. And I just want to say thank you to Joel and James Hake out there, and Nick the Anchor Baby, and all your staff. Thank you for what you guys do for us.
Right on. Thank you, buddy. Stay with it.
Thank you, Jesse. Have a good day.
You too. Let me go to first-time caller Nicole out of Michigan. Nicole, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How you doing?
All is well, Nicole.
I just had a question. I became a single mother really, really young, and it's kind of hard because I didn't My mother just, she didn't really teach me anything, especially about marriage. And I feel like I'm failing my kids right now. So I was just wondering, what should I do to help my kids become better as a single mother?
How many kids do you have? How many children do you have?
I have two.
And how old are they?
My son is 15. My daughter is 11.
Oh, okay. And the way that you help them is that you got to overcome your hell in you. You got to overcome the anger. You got to have a brand new heart. And in having a brand new heart, that is going to work through you to guide your children, because they will see something different about you. They will see it, love in you and not anger. And the love is not your love, but it's the love of the Father working through you. And then they will have a chance to overcome, because you're going to deal with them in perfect peace rather than in anger. Have you forgiven your mother?
I have, but it was just pure hell.
Meaning what?
She felt like she didn't do anything wrong, and it's just real draining trying to talk to her.
So you went to her and you said what?
I just told her that I forgive her, and she said she never did anything wrong.
Yeah. But you realize you didn't need her. You don't need her to admit that she was wrong, or you don't need her to do anything. You forgive, hey, mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. I realize you couldn't help yourself now, and I'm sorry for resenting you. Then God will forgive you. Your mother doesn't need to admit to anything. You don't need conversation with her about it if she doesn't want to talk about anything. And don't ever ask human beings for forgiveness, because human beings are incapable of forgiving. What we have to do is admit that we are wrong for being angry at someone else. Because when you're angry, you're judging. When you judge, you play God, and that keeps you away from God. So we apologize for being angry, and God will forgive us.
Okay.
You don't need her to admit anything.
Okay, and one more question. I have I kind of call it like mom guilt. I know I didn't take the proper steps for like marriage for my children and everything.
Right.
I kind of like get them whatever they want, and I know it's like ruining them in a way.
Yes.
How do I like stop or overcome it? I know they like older now, but it's just, I don't know. I kind of feel guilty because it's just me, and I didn't choose correctly when it came to their fathers.
Well, the way you stop is stop doing it. Now that you realize you're spoiling them, you're destroying them, just stop doing it. Don't give them like that. Make them earn it. Make them have something to do to earn it so that they can appreciate it. And when they grow up and go out on their own, they'll be able to work and take care of themselves. So you just stop. When you say you have guilt, who has the guilt?
What do you mean? I have the guilt?
Right. You said you have guilt, right?
Yes.
And who are you?
I'm Nicole.
You, Nicole?
Yeah, I'm mom.
You're Nicole, your mother, and go ahead.
That's it, I guess.
So you're Nicole and you're a mother, but who are you? You told me your name. Hi, Nicole. You told me your name, and you told me you have children. You're a mother, but tell me, who are you?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Then how do you know you have guilt if you don't know who you are? Who has the guilt?
I have the guilt.
And who is I with the guilt?
A person who's kind of, I guess, lost right now, or confused, or I don't know.
And if you're lost, how do you know you have guilt?
I feel it.
And what does guilt feel like?
not a good feeling, I guess.
Describe it.
I guess I kind of feel like sad or kind of angry.
And where is the guilt located on you?
Where's the guilt located on me?
Yeah. Or in you?
Everywhere.
Like where?
Mind, heart, everywhere.
Do you want to drop the guilt right now and never feel guilty again?
I do.
Number one, I want you to know that, well, I'll tell you that in a minute. If you want to drop the guilt, drop the thoughts about guilt. All you really are having are thoughts about guilt, and you're believing the lie that there is a you to be guilty, and so you're getting the feelings from it, from the thoughts, and you're calling the thoughts and the feeling you, but there is no you to feel guilty because you have never done anything wrong. You cannot do wrong, and you have never done wrong. You're just having thoughts about it, and you believe the thoughts.
I don't understand because I made the decision. So.
And how did you made what decision?
I mean, the outcome of my life right now.
How did you make the decision?
I mean, I watched my mom, do single motherhood, and I made the decision to do the same.
And how did you make the decision?
I don't know. I just did. I don't know.
So if you don't know how you made the decision, why are you saying you made the decision?
I don't know. It's so confusing sometimes.
Right. And so why are you saying you made the decision and you don't even know how you made the decision? Why are you taking credit for something you never done or never decided on?
Okay.
No, that was a question.
I don't know. I don't know.
I want you to think about what we're saying. You're saying you made a decision to have a child out of wedlock. Your life is messed up. You think it's you, but yet you don't know how you made a decision, but yet you take credit for making a decision that you don't even know how you made. If you made the decision, shouldn't you know how you made it?
I mean, yes, I do know how I made it. I dealt with the men I dealt with, and I had children by them, and this is the outcome. So I guess that's my decision. Well, it is my decision.
Do you create your own thoughts?
Yes.
And how do you do that?
I guess I thinking too much. I don't know.
You said, yes, you make decisions. How do you make them? Tell me step number 1, 2, and 3, and 4, how you make decisions.
I think about it and...
And how do you think about it?
I think about it with my mind.
Do you, if you made decision, would you ever make a decision that would make your life bring trouble onto you?
No, I wouldn't do it.
Would you ever make decisions that make you feel bad?
No, not knowingly.
If you made decisions, you would make all good decisions, right? That makes you feel good.
Yeah, I would try, yes.
So if you make decisions, why don't you make all good decisions? Why would you make decisions that would make you feel angry or afraid or make the wrong decision about other things in your life? Why would you do that if you're making the decisions? I
mean, I feel guilty because when it comes to my children, I don't want I mean, I give them everything, so I don't want to.
That's not the question. If you are the creator of decision making in your own life, why do you make bad decisions? Why don't you make all good decisions if you're the one making bad decisions?
It's hard to. I mean, it's hard to. I guess I have to relearn everything I was taught in a way.
No, you didn't answer my question yet. You said, yes, Jesse, I make my own decisions. I make decisions in my life. But so far, all your decisions have been horrible. They have been bad for you and not good. If you are making the decision, why don't you make all good decisions?
I mean, I'm trying now.
But if you are making them, why is it hard to make good decisions?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm sorry?
I don't know. That's a good question. I might have to think about that more.
Is it possible that you are not making decisions?
Yes, that's possible.
And why can't you accept you are not making decisions? Something else is making those decisions in your mind, the so-called good ones and the so-called bad ones. Why can't you accept that there's something else doing this and not you?
What else would it be?
Evil, the spirit of evil.
Okay.
All you've done all your life is listen to lies that come from human beings, including your mother and others, and lies that are coming from your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You have never, and will never make a decision. They are being made for you because you're angry and living in your imagination, and you're calling it you. You have identified with evil and call it good and call it you. And if you want to overcome that, just as you have to forgive your mother, you got to let thoughts go so you can be free. And decisions will be made for you by the Spirit of God, and those decisions will always be good. But you listen to the wrong God. You listen to thoughts.
Okay, I understand.
What do you think about that?
I agree. I definitely agree.
And why do you agree with that?
It makes more sense than what I was trying to put together, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicole, which is easier for you to accept? That you are a sinner or all your sins have been forgiven?
That I'm a sinner.
And why is that easier for you to accept?
I'm not, I guess because of everything that I've been through, I guess.
Meaning what?
I guess going back to the decision making, that would be easier for me to accept right now. I'm not sure why, but I know that would be easier for me.
How about if I told you that you're not a sinner and all your sins have been forgiven, and you are free, but you just don't know that you're free?
Okay.
No, how about that? What do you think? Would you
I
believe me if I told you that?
Yeah, I do.
You do believe it?
Yes.
And why do you believe it? Hold on, Nicole. Can you hold for me?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, hold on. Let me take a quick break. I want to go quickly back to Nicole, first-time caller out of Michigan. And Nicole, thank you for holding.
No problem.
And so, Nicole, you said you feel guilty, but you don't know who you are, but yet you think you feel guilty. And does that make sense to you?
No, it doesn't.
And then you think you are a sinner when all your sins have been forgiven. Does that make sense to believe that you're a sinner when all your sins have been forgiven?
No, it doesn't make sense. but I guess I'm still learning,
Yeah.
and I have to become closer to God
Right.
to live my spirit. So,
Do you want to be? You can become close to God right now if you want it. You want it?
I do want it.
You could be. You could be one with God right now. You don't have to wait. May I tell you?
Yes.
Do you want it?
I do.
Drop your anger.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Okay, I will. Well, I will try.
And how will you try?
I'm gonna try to let it all go and pray more.
Would you want your kids angry at you for the mistakes you made?
No, but I will understand if they were.
Right. But you don't want them to be that way, right?
No, I don't.
Well, then forgive your mother, and God will forgive you. Doesn't mean you got to hang out with her. You don't have to call her. Don't let her play with your children. Just don't resent her so you can be free. Anger keeps you away from the Father. Anger separates you from God. That's all that separates you from God is your anger.
Okay.
So drop your anger. Forgive your mother. She can't help herself. She's crazy.
Okay, I agree. Okay. Thank you, Jesse. I really appreciate you. This is better than therapy.
One other quick thing I want to encourage you to do.
Okay.
And if you do what I'm telling you, Nicole, I promise you, you'll be free just like that.
Okay.
Stop thinking.
Okay. I will.
Who will you be if you stop thinking?
I think I will be a better woman in general.
You will be free. Absolutely. Stop thinking. All thoughts are all lies all the time. And the only problem that you have is that you have not forgiven, which separate you from the truth, and you're thinking. Drop all thoughts, and you will see there's no such thing as problems, that you, Nicole, has never had a problem.
Okay. I understand.
That makes sense?
Yes, it does. I understand.
And why does that make sense to you?
Because I didn't really realize it until this conversation that I was like, I kind of did, but I was living like through anger and disappointment and frustration, and I don't want to live like that no more.
Right on. And because you want the truth now, you welcome the truth, God is come down and he's guiding you right now, because it's not me that caused you to see the truth. It's because you're open up to the truth, and the truth will only enter into people who want it. The person, the man or woman that want the truth, those are the only ones that's going to see the truth. And God is allowing you to see that what I'm saying is true. And if you stay with that, you're going to have paradise on earth. You're going to have perfect peace. And then your kids will have a chance to overcome, because they will see love in you, and you will see how to lead them in the right way without even trying. The truth will work through you.
Okay.
But you got to drop the thing, all thinking, all thoughts are all lies all the time. I want to encourage you from this point forward, never think about your life. Never think about you, period. Let you disappear, because it's just thoughts. It's just an idea. It's not real.
Okay.
So stop thinking about you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And do the silent prayer. Have you tried that yet?
I did once. I'm going to start it again.
Yeah, do the silent prayer so you can practice staying present rather than lost in your head.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Jesse.
You're welcome. Let me know how it goes.
Okay, I will.
So stop judging. There is no one there to judge. God is not judging you. Forget about what has happened and just live your life.
Okay.
And how do you spell? Is it NICHOLE?
No, it's NICOLE.
Oh, NICOLE. Okay. Thank you, Nicole. Stay with it, and let me know how it goes, all right?
Okay, thank you so much.
Stop believing thoughts. All thoughts are all lies about you or anyone. Just drop the thoughts.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Amazing. Did you hear about this incident at the school down in Georgia? I want to know what you think about it. Really, I want to hear your feedback on this. This is so interesting to me. According to WLBT3, a mother in Georgia said a teacher threw her 11-year-old son across a classroom, and it was caught on video. Here is the first story about this from WLBT3.
Tonight, a shocking video of a teacher throwing a student across a classroom at Duren Middle School in Savannah. Our Madeline Bierster spoke with the heartbroken mother of that student, who is asking for accountability from the school district.
Disturbing video that Duren Middle School mother Chanel Russell received Friday. That afternoon, she got a call about what happened between her 6th grade son TJ and the football coach who was in charge of the classroom that day. That teacher was identified as Betrayal Elder.
I was told that he had a share of words that were inappropriate to TJ, and that he had, made some remarks about me, and my son was unhappy with it. So my son then went to the front of the classroom to approach the teacher, letting him know, hey, stop talking about my mom. The teacher then came closer to my son. My son again said, stop talking about my mom, and also wanted to, call someone to call my mom. From that point, he was then grabbed and thrown to the floor.
The comments, according to this student, were sexual in nature. Russell says she's never met this teacher before and is appalled a teacher would say anything like this to her son.
I just feel like they failed me. They let me down.
I mean, but oh man, that boy looks like a big boy for 11 years old. What the? He must have been eating cornbread and ham hocks. According to this report, the student now has a concussion, and mother says the teacher should be placed in jail. This is from WLBT3.
They went to the ER that night. TJ now has a concussion and multiple bruises. He's frightened to go back to school. The school told Russell that the teacher has been, quote, removed and placed elsewhere until the investigation is complete.
I really feel like he don't need to be placed anywhere else. He needs to be placed in jail. He hurt my boy. I wouldn't do that to my child. His father wouldn't do that to him. So for him to take initiative to do that is sickening. What are you going through at home? Are you beating on your children? Are you beating on your wife?
Russell says she doesn't want this to change the way her son thinks of teachers or school as a whole, but is worried about the emotional toll this will have long term. She says the school district needs to have more thorough training and a better vetting process.
I hate that he had to be made an example out of to get a sick individual out of a schoolhouse, but something needs to change.
Amazing. So you still want to put your kids in a public school? Do you still want to do that? I never imagined that in my country one day that these types of things would be happening between teachers and students. Whatever happened. But I never imagined that. Growing up, you never thought for a second that you can even talk to a teacher that way, whether about it mama or not. I don't know what happened there, but and then I don't know what happened, but what made the boy think he can approach a teacher like that? If he did say, stop talking about my mama. What the? You can say that to your friends, but not to the teacher. I don't know what happened, but I would recommend do what you want. And I know most parents don't love their children now. Parents do not love their children. It's a lie that they be lying when they say they love their children. They do not love them. But and I don't know, why would parents, I don't know, why would parents tell their children to defend me? Let's say that the teacher did say that, and the boy got in the teacher's face. Wouldn't the parent tell the child, well, you shouldn't have got in the teacher's face? You don't do that. If you're unhappy about that, come and let me know. If I need to take care, I'll take care of it. You don't jump in front of the teacher and tell the teacher, don't be talking about my mama. What the? I'm just saying, but I don't know what happened there. What do you think about that story? In which you still put your child in a public school. So some of you know, all of you should know by now, I'm sure it's worldwide news, that in LA, the fire is happening and it is a mess. It really is bad. And this time it's closer to us than normal. Most of the time those fires are out up in the woods somewhere, up in the hills, so way up in the hills, where some homes are affected up there, but this time it's different. Because it's down in Malibu and Pacific Palisade, and then Hollywood and Pasadena. So it's like right around us, and it's different and it's major. It is major. It's bad. Homes burning down, all kinds. It's just awful. It really, I can't find the words to say. It's like it reminds me of a terrorist attack. I'm not saying that's what's happening with this fire, but it reminds me of that, a terrorist attack. And then, according to all the reports, Los Angeles is not ready for a fire. Our government has not prepared California for fires. We have, in California and in our country, we have the worst government that we can possibly ever have. Really. It's just our government has gone from bad to worse, and they can get away with it because the people vote for them anyway. The people don't care. They just vote for them because of the title, and the people don't care. So we have a don't care government, which is primarily Democrats in California. But the federal government, as you know, both rhinos and Democrats who don't care. It's amazing to me how much my country has gone down the hill. It reminds me of your life, individual lives, because when we were traumatized by our mothers and not protected by the fathers, we grow up having a devastated life, a very destructive life, and it doesn't work, it won't work, it can't work the way that we've been taught. This fire reminds me of that, in that that's the type of government we have now, a no-good government. So last night I was watching Jesse Waters on a primetime show there on Fox, and he laid out the whole deal like no other reporter that I'm aware of that can do it. And normally I like to get sound bites from, different stories, but I got the whole opening monologue of Jesse Waters because it lays out everything. And I wanted to try to give you for those who are not here and you can't see what's going on, I wanted to give you as clear of a picture as possible concerning this fire and the government who is not doing anything for the people in California. Nothing. They're into this environmental thing and everything that put us in a hole. It's amazing, too. So I wanted to be patient because I wanted to lay out exactly how Jesse Waters laid this out. He showed you the people, the government that's involved and what they're not doing and why they're not doing it. And it's just really interesting. So this first soundbite is this is what's happening in LA County from Fox News.
Apocalyptic. This is Los Angeles County. Entire neighborhoods are burning. Over 10,000 acres in Pacific Palisades alone. And the smoke everyone's breathing is being described as a toxic soup. 5 people already dead. They were burned alive. Hundreds of homes have been scorched. This is the most destructive fire in LA County history, and it's still raging. 0% of the fire has been contained. 0%. Winds are whipping up to 100 miles an hour, breathing more and more life into the inferno. And over 1,400 firefighters are battling the blaze on the front lines, and they haven't slept. One says, "I'm living proof that you can stay up for 96 hours. But they're outmanned and out-equipped. The chief says she doesn't have enough firefighters. Just months ago, LA Mayor Karen Bass cut funding from the fire department by around $20 million. And before that, the LA Fire Department sent their extra equipment to Ukraine. They probably could use some of that equipment now.
Isn't that amazing? We got the worst mayor that you can have in any city. Worst mayor, and all these black mayors are messed up anyway, but we got the worst. Karen Bass. And this fire has been burning for 2 days so far. Isn't that amazing? 2 days, and it's still no signs of stopping it. They found out that there is no water in the fire hydrants. Can you believe that? Watch this.
And this is even worse. The fire hydrants are dry.
Here on Lockman Lane, there are several homes burning. This is the one that firefighters were trying to put out a little while ago, but you can see right now it's just kind of out of control. Since then, firefighters have lost water pressure on the hydrant, so they can't get any more water onto this fire and the ones down the hill because of the water pressure issues.
Why isn't there any water coming out of the fire hydrants? Los Angeles has had 2 years of record rainfall. It hasn't rained this much year to year since the 1800s. Well, guess what? All the rain just washes into the ocean. A decade ago, California voted to spend billions on water storage and reservoirs. Today, Governor Newsom hasn't finished building a single one. They've done nothing to store water in a decade.
Isn't that amazing? And then they hold press conference like they're serious and they're taking care of you and don't worry. The water is going out into the ocean. And then they made the citizens of California pay up the yang for water. Trump told Gavin to get it together. Watch this.
Trump was just in California this fall and told Gavin he needed to get it together.
You have so much water, and all those fields that are right now barren, the farmers would have all the water they needed, and you could revert water up into the hills where you have all the dead forests, where the forests are so brittle, because no place is like California. I go to Austria. The head of Austria tells me, we have trees that are much more flammable than what you have in California. We never have forest fires because they maintain their forests. And you have all that water that could be used as water, what they call water flow, where where the land would be damp. And you'd stop many of these horrible fires.
Before Donald Trump left office, he signed an order that would funnel more water from Northern California into Southern California. Newsom, instead of saying thank you, filed a lawsuit to stop it, saying it would kill the smelt. If you don't know what a smelt is, neither did we. It's a fish the size of your pinky. California can't get enough water to fight fires because of a stupid fish. We're saving fish instead of people. Saving smelt, big business. If anything happens to the smelt, people lose a lot of money. We're paying people to feel like heroes for protecting a fish no one eats.
Think about that, folks. This is what's running your country nowadays. A stupid fish over human beings' lives. All about the money. It's not about the people. And still you vote for these people over and over again. The people get this government that they deserve. Really. You vote them in over and over again. Over and over again. So Trump tried to do something about it. Gavin Newsom stopped it. No, we're not going to help the people. According to this report, Gavin been tearing down dams for Indians. What's this?
But it gets worse. Gavin's been tearing down dams. Why? Because the Indians wanted some of their river back so they could catch salmon. Gavin didn't just knock down one dam for the Indians, he knocked down all 4.
The largest dam removal project in U.S. history and one of the most significant, if not the most significant, water restoration project, bringing back salmon and steelhead into this basin. And I couldn't be more proud as a father because my kids and their great-great-grandkids will have the opportunity to see something that, well, has been here since time immemorial. And it's about damn time. Words mean nothing unless you can manifest them. You got to make something real. You got to make the words visible. We mean business. We're going to be turning this over in a very short period of time.
And these dams were a go-to source for firefighters to pull water from to fight fires up north. Gavin's literally tearing down Western civilization for fish and Indians. Nothing against the Indians. I love the Indians. But really?
What a mess, huh? And now Gavin Newsom is being rumored that he want to be president of the United States. And watch how dumb the people are. Some people, if he should run, will vote for him. They will vote for him. Can you imagine having that running your country? Remember when they had the Chinese virus? Everybody else had to stay home while Gavin go out to lunch with his friends at a hotel. Not a hotel, but a cafe, restaurant. Remember that? But you can go anywhere, and you still vote for him. You get the government you deserve. And Gavin stands around and holds his hands in his pockets while you suffer. Watch this.
LA is out of water, and the governor's staring at the fire with his hands in his pockets. Now, we have a rule about men putting their hands in their pockets, but this is neither the time nor the place to discuss it. People are trapped. Homes and schools are gone. And Newsom hasn't contained a single acre. The governor waited 24 hours to send in the National Guard. Water management, forest management, Gavin doesn't know what he's doing. Again, Trump warned him about this years ago.
Got to take care of the floors, the floors of the forests, very important. You look at other countries where they do it differently, and it's a whole different story. I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have a much different, we're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. And they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem. And when it is, it's a very small problem.
Newsom, after the election, called an emergency special session in California to Trump-proof the state. Not fireproof it, Trump-proof it, whatever that means. Where are the emergency escape roads that were supposed to have been built? People had to abandon their cars in the middle of the road and run away from the flames because there's only one way in and one way out. Why weren't the forest beds treated? Why are we running out of water?
Amazing, huh? And the Democrats run your state. And you vote for the Democrats over and over again. I couldn't believe it when they voted in Kara Bass over the other guy, I can't think of his name right now, that was running. They voted Kara Bass in. A no good, incapable DEI person. And don't rely on Joe Biden. Joe Biden can't help at all. Hasn't helped. Watch this.
Joe Biden hasn't helped at all. In October, the Biden administration canceled crucial controlled burns in California. These are critical to forest management. Canceled them. Today, Biden happened to be in town because he was supposed to designate another national forest, decided that this was the right time to congratulate himself.
Astounding what's happening. All I want is good news. My son lives out here anyway. They got a notification yesterday that their home is probably burning around. Today, there's a lady still standing, and I'm sure. But the good news is, I'm a great-grandfather as of today. I was granddaughter. I'm a baby girl, baby boy. So I remember this day for a lot of long reasons.
So Hunter's now a grandfather and Joe's a great-grandfather. I'm sure everybody who lost their homes is excited to hear the news. Trump reacted to the fires today saying, no water in the fire hydrants, no money in FEMA. This is what Joe Biden is leaving me. Thanks, Joe.
Amazing, huh? And you might ask, so Joe Biden up there talking about a stupid grandchild while your house is burning down. And the stupid politicians applauding him in the media. And remember, we have a female, black DEI female for mayor of the city. And you might ask, well, where's Karen Bass? We haven't seen her since the fire. Where is she? Here's where she has been. And they say she's back now. But here's where Karen Bass has been, according to a report.
Meanwhile, the mayor of LA has been out of the country the whole time. Mayor Karen Bass has been in Africa for the inauguration of the president of Ghana. What the heck's an American politician doing attending inaugurations in other countries? Karen Bass isn't going to her own president's inauguration, but she's going to the president of Ghana's? Why? And didn't make it back home until late this afternoon. A reporter caught up with her at LAX. Listen.
An apology for being absent while their homes were burning. Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today?
Nothing. Biden was considering Bass for VP.
If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. But don't worry. It gets better. You have the best possible LA fire chief that you can ever find. It can't get any worse than this. Well, I don't think so. This is what we have for the fire chief in Los Angeles. Watch this.
So who else is running things? This right here, ladies and gentlemen? This is the leadership of the LA Fire Department. I sure hope they know what they're doing. Here's the fire chief.
She took time out of her already busy schedule to tell us about her vision for the department's future, one that includes a 3-year strategic plan to increase diversity.
People ask me, well, what number are you looking for? I say, I'm not looking for a number. It's never enough.
Out of 3,300 city firefighters, only 115 are women right now. She's already looking at ways to change that. The chief also checks another box when it comes to inclusivity and diversity at this department. She's a proud member of the LGBTQ community.
That just kind of opens the door of people that thought, wow, I didn't even know that that was an opportunity for me.
So while her department was sending equipment to Ukraine, the chief was marching in pride parades, which is fine. Have all the pride you want, but you better make sure you're ready to do your job when it counts.
Isn't that amazing? Did you know all this was going on? Did you know this? Did you know it was this bad? These are the people that's supposed to be running your city, your state. And guess what they did? They got this LGBT thing working, and they got rid of all the white men. No white men allowed in the fire department. At least get in the back of the line. Go to the back of the line. Watch this.
LA County Fire Department fired a ton of men who refused to get vaccinated. Bet they could have used those men today. In fact, California has a program to scrub white males from the fire department. Adam Carolla says he tried to apply to be a firefighter in LA once, but they told him to go to the back of the line.
I want to talk about my white privilege so badly. I could not find a job. I walked to a fire station in North Hollywood. I was 19. I was living in the garage of my family home. My mom was on welfare and food stamps. And I said, can I get a job as a fireman? And they said, no, because you're not black, Hispanic, or a woman. We'll see in about 7 years.
Amazing, huh? In their own country, white men are not allowed. In their own country. Country founded, made great by white men. Now you got to go to the back of the line. Thank you, they say, but no thanks. And last but not least, California is committing suicide right before your eyes. Watch this.
California is committing suicide right before our eyes. DEI is deadly. The state spent billions of dollars on equity programs, and they can't even deliver basic services. Newsom spends more money fighting homelessness than fighting fires, and both of them are out of control. The state has a drug problem, a homeless problem. Everything's burning. There's no water. Bridges are blowing up. Migrants are running off of boats onto beaches. California is run by public servants who can't serve the public. And the governor looks around and says, I'm going to run for president. This is completely unacceptable in the United States of America in 2025.
Amazing, huh? What amazing reporting by Jesse Waters. Thank you, Jesse. It was just laid out. You can't miss it. He allows you to see what's really, really going on. What a mess, huh? Now do you believe me when I say that my country is not coming back? It's over for my country. It's not coming back. It's not coming back. Donald Trump hopefully will do some good for his jobs and shutting down the borders and rebuilding a strong military, I hope. And now maybe he'll do something about the fire situation, the water situation in California and around the country, really. But my country is not coming back. These people in government now, and the voters are so blind, they're just going to vote for them. They vote for bills that goes against themselves because they don't bother to look and see what's going on. May God have mercy on our souls. This is bad, right? And look who's running the city. Did you have any idea? If I was a police, I would arrest Gavin Newsom for doing such a horrible job. It's almost like a setup. And watch, when he hold a press conference, he's going to act like, oh, we got you, we did this, and we passed this, and we're doing this, and don't worry. And hold on a minute, I got to go and comb my hair. And you're going to vote for him again. And they need to, all of the climate change people, those who are fighting for it, those who are passing laws for climate change, run them out of the country. Really, they should not be in America. Those are selfish, don't care, no good people. It's about money. It's not about what's good for the country at all. It's about money and perceived power. And the people's homes are burning down. I even know some people who've been affected by the fire. Let me go to North Carolina and talk to our first-time caller, Mike. Mike, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Hey, Mike. North Carolina, you're on the air.
Oh, yeah. How you doing?
All is well.
Yeah, I've been watching you for like about a year now. Putting into practice the silent prayer for a lot of.
Speak up a little bit and right into your phone, Mike.
Yeah. So I've been watching you guys for about a year now. Practicing the silent prayer for all that time. But somehow I'm still struggling with this anger issue that I have, and it's affecting me mainly with my boss. We have this weird interaction with my boss, where sometimes I just want to like quit the job. And it's gotten to a point where, it's becoming problematic, almost on a daily basis. And I wanted to get your input to see what I could do in order to kind of release that, because I feel like it has to do something with pain. And it used to be very bad a couple years ago. But ever since I started watching your show and practicing the silent prayer, I started to kind of become a little bit more calm. But being that I have to deal with my boss on a daily basis with this darkness going around, I feel like it makes it difficult for me to be able to kind of let that go. Because, I practice a silent prayer and I feel like peace, complete peace.
Yeah.
Right? And I can see how all that darkness kind of like fades away completely when I do these silent prayers.
Yes.
And it works. It's worked for me. Because I watched countless of videos related to these anger problems.
Yeah.
And nothing worked. I would go to church and, the brothers would receive me with this brotherly love, but I could kind of tell that it was not authentic,
Yes.
So I kept jumping church to church to church to church until I found one of your videos, and then that's where I've been at, and that has pretty much helped me release, I would say, a good 75% of my issues that I had, because I was so lost. I didn't know what to do. I was more pot, to find answers, because I was like, this has to be a mental problem. So I was more pot to kind of elevate myself and see what was going on. But it didn't take that long before I figured out that only made the problem worse. So now I feel like I have let go of a lot of that anger, but it's still some there, that I know my boss, he has the same problem, because it's almost like he hates me and I hate him. And every time we come across, it's like, don't look at me, stay in your lane. But I haven't got fired because there's another guy that's above him that he's known me for a long time, and he's the one that referred me to that job. And every time we have a problem, I go to that guy and tell him, look, I got this issue. Can you switch me up to another supervisor? But because he's got a lot of, I'm a spectrum technician, and I install internet. So I go to people's home, install the internet. So there's a contractor hierarchy.
But let me ask you this, because of time, and don't mention the name of your company or anything like that, but what's happening with your boss? You arguing with him, or what's happening?
Yeah, I can't explain to you. It's almost like as soon as we're in front of, like face to face, like this weird energy comes up, and in a form of anger. I feel like it's anger because I feel this.
But do you
hate.
guys argue with each other, or you just look at each other be angry?
No, we have gotten into arguments before. Very strange arguments where he's told me before that to leave the job several times.
And so your question for me, because of time, is what?
What do you suggest me to do in order to let go of that anger?
To
Because I've gone
stop
and
thinking
tried
about
to
him.
forgive my mom.
Stop thinking about the boss, because the anger that you have has nothing to do with your boss at all.
Okay.
But you're believing the lies in your head, and that's why you're feeling the emotions of anger. But if you just let go of the thoughts, you'll be free of that too. And don't judge your boss. Don't think about him. He is not your problem. The thoughts are the problem, and you're just believing them. Stop believing them about your boss, and just do your job. And if you have to report to him the report. But don't worry about how he reacts or what he says. That's on him. He's dealing with his own insane mind, just as you are. So stop thinking about him, and you'll be free from it. And just do your job.
Okay. So you don't suggest like try to leave the job, like try to get away from someone like that?
Well, if you stop thinking about him, so you can stop being believing the lie that the anger is coming from because of him. Your anger is not because of your boss. I promise you that. It's because you're listening to thoughts about your boss. You're not understanding that whatever he has in his life, it's the same spirit that you have in your life. And if you had understanding, you would not be mad at your boss. But just stop thinking about it, let it pass, and do your job. And if you have to leave, you'll leave. If you want to stay, you'll stay. You shouldn't make that decision while you're angry, because if you do, you're just gonna run into the same situation somewhere else. Because the problem is inside of you, not on the outside of you at all.
Right. Okay.
That doesn't mean you're not going to run into other angry people who are going to want to bring you problems, because people are evil, and they're going to want to. Some people are going to want to hurt you, but they cannot hurt you if you're free on the inside.
Right. And I try to forgive my mom, but I grew up mostly with my grandma, who's already passed away. So I don't know how would I approach forgiving my grandma.
By realizing that she couldn't help herself either. The same thoughts and emotions that you have been dealing with and overcoming are the same ones that she had. She couldn't help herself. And it's knowing that now that she's dead, you'll be able to just forgive her.
Yeah, because she gave me a lot of whooping and brutal punishment.
Yeah. She was evil, and she couldn't help herself.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much for your advice.
So here's what I recommend.
Thank you for all that you do. It really does help us a lot.
Right on. Here's what I recommend, Mike. When you see your boss again, whatever thoughts you get about him, let them pass.
Okay.
And don't try to look at him in a mean way. Don't try to prove anything. Just do your job. And do not argue with the devil inside your head or inside of other people. Don't argue. You'll be fine.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for your advice, Mr. Pearson.
I wish you well, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
All right. But anyway, I want to just give you this, and then I'll get back to your call. This is so important. It is Bible Thumper Thursday. If you can do this, and you can, It's not if you can do it, if you would do this. What I'm about to read for you. It's so true and it's so real, it blows my mind. This is from John 14:27. And it's not enough just to read it. You can be it. You can do it. You can live this way. John 14:27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world give, do I give to you. Let your hearts, let not your heart be troubled, neither let them be afraid. I want you to think about that. Christ came and he brought you peace. He gave you peace. And he doesn't give it to you the way the world will give you peace and then take it away. As soon as they get mad at you, or as soon as they are jealous or revengeful, they take their peace away from you, right? Your mama take her peace away from you as soon as you don't agree with her. As soon as you say, Mama, I'm sorry for resenting you, she takes all her peace away from you. But Christ came and brought you peace, and he doesn't take it away from you. He give it to you. And if you believe in Christ or believe in God, there is no way that you can not have peace. If you don't have peace, it's only because you don't believe in God. Whether you read the Bible or not, you don't believe in God. And that's why you don't have peace. And then what you do is you go out and look for people who don't have peace. And they're like, oh, you can't have peace. You're just a human being. You can't have peace on this earth. You have to wait. And you find someone to validate you not having peace, so you stay miserable. Because you're talking to another miserable person. It's like going to ask a cook, how do you build a house? You're asking one angry person, how can you be at peace? And that angry person not going to tell you because they have no peace, so they're going to tell you can't have it. You can have peace right here on earth. Really. There's no reason at all, except that you don't want it, that you should be angry or afraid or lonely or suicidal or depressed or jealous, envy, strife, revengeful. There's no reason for you to be that way except that that's how you want to be. You want to be that way. And that's why you're that way. You love your hell. You love your misery. And that's why you are miserable. And you love it because it makes you feel like a victim. And human beings love to feel like victims. They love to feel like victims. Isn't that amazing? So, but you can have peace right here. You don't have to wait till you die. The only death you need to do is the ego death anyway, the false self-death. You're not your body, you're not your mind, you're not your emotions, you're not your body, you're not your thoughts. You're none of the things that you call yourself. Really. But you can have peace. Peace I leave with you. Peace I give to you. Not as the world give, do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled. Neither let them be afraid. You have a troubled heart. And the only reason you have a troubled heart is because you won't drop the anger. You won't forgive, so your heart is wicked. Your heart is evil. Isn't that amazing? It's up to you. Stay in your hell or overcome your hell. Stay in your hell or overcome your hell. You don't have to put up with hell inside of you or inside of other people. You have no obligation, no responsibility to let someone else impose their hell on you. If you're doing that, it's because you want it that way, so that you can complain about it, so you can feel sorry for yourself, so you can tell everybody how miserable you are, how mean the people are to you. You're responsible for you. And your hell is inside of you. It's not outside of you. Think about that. Your misery, your hell is in your mind. It's not even real, number one. It's an illusion, but it's in you. You read the Bible. You claim that Jesus is God. You claim that you're the first Jews on the earth, the black Jews do. You claim this and claim that, and yet you're miserable. It's doing you no good. If what you believe is true, why don't you have peace? Why is it that your life is not working for you if what you believe is true? Think about it. Smoke on it. I remember, Joel, you weren't here yesterday, but Joel is back. Joel had to leave his house. What was that like? How did you know you had to leave? I was like, Lord, they're telling Joel to leave. How did you know you have to leave? Joel fried the TV, folks. How did you know you had to leave?
Sorry about that.
Last night and this.
I'm pulling a bill right now.
Thank you, Bill. Bill was a mess yesterday. He hadn't done it in a while. Ran the board. Okay. How did you know you had to leave? Your house.
Well, they sent an evacuation alert, right? But the first thing is I had a friend of mine who's not even from Los Angeles. He called me. He's like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah. What's the problem?" He's like, "They're saying your area needs to be evacuated." So he knew before me that it was supposed to be evacuated. I don't know how he knew. But he knew before me. I was like, "No, I think we're fine." And then right after I hung up,
he was your fire alert.
Because I didn't get one right away alert, but I guess people are in the apartment were getting it. I didn't get it. So
you had an Obama phone. That's why.
So then
all the white people had the right kind of phone, and you had an Obama phone.
Maybe I had to do the update or something. And then I hung up with him, and then I hear people in the area running around, and I'm like, "What's going on here?" And then I started looking up on my phone the areas.
Yeah.
And then it said like a certain area was catching it, so I looked up. I'm like, "Whoa, that's a mile away from me." I was like, let me double check. And I heard like the lady start screaming, and I opened the door, and people are running around with tissue paper. And they're freaking out. I'm like, okay, maybe I should look into this. And then I looked into it, and they said, yeah, everybody in that area has to evacuate.
Oh.
So, yeah, we ended up leaving. But
I wonder how Joel find out.
Yeah.
So did you pack your car with stuff?
Yeah, well, I had a little suitcase, and I packed it with just like a day's clothes and like just my toiletry stuff, and I just left.
Oh, you didn't take your TV, your radio?
No. I'm not gonna lie, I'll be honest. The first,
I'll be like, let me take my TV first.
The first thing I thought of was, should I take my skates? That was the first. I thought of that. I'm not gonna lie, that was the first thing I thought. I'm like, okay, let me relax. It's probably not important.
No, Joel, your skate was not important. Your skate is not more important than the TV. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so you're back.
Yeah. So now
okay.
everything. We'll see what happens, but it should be. It seems to be handled in my area. So.
I'm hearing now that they're getting false alarm now.
Yeah. I was getting because then they said yesterday that you guys can go home, and then right when you get home they're like, oh wait, warning. So it was all over the place.
What a mess. And now that if it's true that they're getting these false alarms on their phone, people are starting to pack and run out, and they find out it was a false alarm.
Yeah.
Now you're not going to know if you should stay or go.
Exactly.
What a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess.
DEI. Reparation. Reparation now, reparation forever. Affirmative action. Well, let me see you have a photo of the Los Angeles Fire Department leader. Yeah, they just put it in the folder. I can't believe. Do you remember when you went to be police?
Yeah.
And you told them the truth.
Yeah. You know, I figured out what exactly it was that I told them that I think that got
Joel,
me.
for those who don't know, Joel had applied to be a police officer in LA at one time, and he went on an interview, and he was honest on the interview.
Yeah. I think they asked me if women should be in the police thing. And I messed around, was too honest, and told them no. And they didn't look at me the same ever since.
I see them checking you off right away. Forget about your qualification. That done it for you.
Yeah.
This is what's running. Is that a man or the fat one?
Those are
all those are men?
women, I think.
Alleged women.
Are those women or men?
Those.
I would bet they're all women.
Are they all women?
I know these two are women, and I'm almost positive this one is too.
Really? But that fat one ain't gonna get up no ladder.
I know.
Both of those fat ones ain't even all of them fat. Those are the ones that are heading up the fire department. And you voted them in. However they got in there. Lord, if ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. Those are women? I'm being told they're women. What? All women, I'm told. Yeah, I'm told. My producers tell me in my ear they're all women. You don't have a chance. It's over. It is absolutely no police no more or anything. Goodbye, America. You have lost control of your country, your own life, really, but your country. So the left one was the LA fire chief. The middle one was the training commander. And the other one was the assistant chief, assistant so-called chief. Lord have mercy. And so, Joel, when you were leaving your interview, did you look around, look back to see if they were looking at you?
Shoot.
And they were like thinking, this N-word?
Well, so what happened was they ended up doing they had to do
when Joel told me the first interview how it went, I knew it was over.
Yeah.
I was like, you ain't gonna be no police, buddy.
I know.
Not in LA.
Because they had to do a lie detector test and they had to do a psychological evaluation. So
well, they already knew you were crazy.
I know. And on the last one, they kept asking me more questions, and I'm thinking like I have to tell the truth because it's like they're gonna tell if I'm lying. So they kept asking me questions. I kept just being honest about it, and then I think the guy that was interviewing me was homosexual because he was very kind of effeminate. I don't know for sure.
Maybe one of those bad people.
And then they denied me. They denied me, and then I reappealed. And then they said, okay, we'll give you one more last interview. And then the interviewer was a woman. And I was like, at that point, I'm like, okay, it's the woman comment I made. And they want me to kiss boots to try to get back in there. And at that point, I was already done. They said no.
No, buddy, you were done really doing that first interview. You were already done. They were just going through the motion. So you didn't file a racial lawsuit.
Yeah, that's a good point. What a mess.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, I'm glad you're back in your home and the fire didn't burn your place down.
Right.
Let me go to Carlos out of Canada. Carlos, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you doing today?
All is well.
So I come to you with a question. I have a son with another woman. So basically, I was
Yeah,
with
speak
this
up a little
woman.
bit. Come closer to your phone and speak up a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
All right. So I have a son, and me and his mom split up. And we've been split up for quite some time, since 2015. He's 11 years old now.
So you have it's out of wedlock?
Unfortunately, yes, sir. We did have him out of wedlock.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So he's reached out to me recently on social media, and we had time to see each other and spend time together. And he told me that he would rather stay with me instead of with his mom, and that really broke my heart. And I didn't want to be emotional in front of him, so I held it down, and I told him that he's always going to have me around. And I went through the court system out here in Canada, Jesse, and it's not the very best because, in my opinion, forgive me if I'm judgmental, but I feel like it's a bunch of beta males and a bunch of lesbians. So they're against us. So my question is, like, how do I go forward with this? Like, I really want him to be with me, but the court system's really not making me.
How old is he?
He's 11 years old now.
And so when he asked to be with you, when he said he wanted to be with you, did you tell him that that's what you wanted to, but his mother and the court won't allow it to happen? Did you let him know that?
Well, that's my thing, Jesse. Like, should I just be straight up honest with him? Just tell him, like, hey, like, this is what's going on? Because, like, he already, I see it in him that he has resentment towards his mother already. And
when he asked when he said he wanted to be with you at 11 years old, did you tell him that you wanted that too, but his mother and the courts won't allow it?
Well, I told him that I want to, but I didn't tell him that his mom and the courts didn't want me to.
So when he said to you, Dad, I want to be with you, I'm 11 years old, did you tell him that his mother and the court won't allow it?
No, I didn't tell him that.
And why not?
I just told him that. I'm sorry?
And why not? Why didn't you tell him that?
He looks like he's suffering already, and
but how would that? But why did you? Why would that? How would that add or take away from his suffering?
Good point. Yeah, you got a good point.
No, I don't. That wasn't a point. That was a question.
I mean, yeah, okay. You're right.
That was a question.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, yeah, like I'm wrong for saying that then because I see what you're saying now. I'm not helping him out.
That was a question. Why didn't you tell him that?
Why didn't I tell him that?
Yes.
I didn't tell him that because I didn't want to add on to it, but...
Add on to what? So you think are you saying by giving him an understanding of what's going on would add on to something? What would add on to? What do you mean by that? Just for I'm black and slow. What do you mean by that?
So what I'm trying to explain, Jesse, is that I could already see him suffering, but in my opinion, I didn't want to add on to it, but like add on to
what? Yeah.
Suffering.
But how would that add on to his suffering? Understanding why he can't be with you, how would that add on to his suffering? If he know, okay, my mother and the courts won't let it. My father want me, but the courts won't let him. How does that add on? How's understanding adding on to suffering?
Yeah, you got me there. It's not. I should be honest with him. Yeah, you're right. I should tell him the truth and be honest with him.
No, that was a question. How is that adding on to suffering? Understanding that this boy, he's 11 years old. He's going to clearly see, my father want me. My mother is stopping it. The court is stopping it. How is that adding on to suffering?
Well, maybe I said it in the wrong context, but me, I'm still going through that because I'm trying to get that beta male phase out of me, and I'm worried about his emotions, but like I feel like he's gonna rebel against his mother, and he's already having a hard time at his house right now.
So
but-
your son is already having a hard time with the mother, according to you. Your son is
Yeah.
11 years old. He said, I want to be with you. He reached out to you. He said, I want to be 11 years old, and he reached out to you. I saw a black boy get thrown down in a classroom, and he was 11. He was big guy. So it means that your
That
son
big.
and so your son reached out to you. You had the opportunity to say, well, I want to be with you, but your mother and the court won't allow it, and you didn't tell him that.
No,
Because
but
he's going to
indirect-
suffer with his mother. He's already suffering with the mother, according to you. How
I
is
know.
that going to make him suffer anymore?
It's not. Yeah.
So how did you come up with that idea then?
It's just that thought that
All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything, man.
yeah, you're right. You're definitely right.
Most guys don't get an opportunity to talk to their children and tell them what's really going on, especially at the age 11, after the child reached out to them. They don't get, and you didn't tell your son what's happening. That doesn't even make sense to me.
Well, this is the thing, Jesse. Like, yeah, you're right. I understand you're right. But indirectly, we know what the problem is indirectly.
What do you mean
And
by that? Your son doesn't know indirectly what the problem is, or he would have asked, could I be with you?
Yeah.
Why are you
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
what do you mean by he know indirectly?
Nah, you just made me think right now, Jesse. Yeah, all thoughts are lies. You're
Because right
breaking
now
it down.
you're making up another lie, another excuse from your imagination. Your imagination told you, oh, say we already know indirectly. Your son doesn't know.
Yeah, you're right. So, Jesse, you're right. So, how would I go about this? I really want him to be with me, but the courts are not letting me.
And that's what he needs to know. He's 11 years old. He reached out to you. Maybe he'll come up with something you just don't know. He's 11 years old. Maybe he'll just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm doing a little babies here, but I don't know. He went, hey, Mom, I know now why you're not letting my father's not seeing me. Or I'm not with my father because of you and the court. You just don't know of her, but you didn't tell him. You gave him nothing to work with. And now I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, beta.
I know, right?
Babe.
That's why I'm still trying to work on it. So Jesse, now I got a connection with him now again. Like,
let him know
like
why.
I told you.
Let him know why he's not with you.
Yeah.
Son, I want to be with you too. Your mother and the courts won't let me. Talk to your mother about that. Tell her you want to be with me. He's 11 years old. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, you're still there.
Yeah.
Can't you do that?
I hear you. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that.
He may
I'm gonna
be
see
even
him today.
convince his mother at 11 that he want to be with you. He doesn't want to be with her. He is 11, so at least give him something to work with. You just can't say, oh, I want to be with you too. How's he going to work with that?
Yeah. Good point.
Give the boy some understanding. In life, you want understanding. You don't want facts. You want understanding.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. All right, I'll lay it on the table for him today then, because I'm coming to pick him up after school. So
And don't do it just because I said it. You do it because you see that's what you want to do or it needs to be done. You need to see it for yourself.
yeah, I mean, just listening to how dumb I sound right now made me realize that I need to be truthful to him. so thank you, Jesse. Like I appreciate that.
Are you going to pick him up, you say?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick him up after school today.
And do you pick him up all the often, or this is the first time since he reached out to you?
Well, I pick him up like once in the blue moon because sometimes his mama would try to be like, "Oh, I'm picking him up later. Oh, you don't have to do that.
Oh, I
You
see.
ain't got to do that." So I'm like, and you know, I don't try to fight it anymore because like I learned my lesson not to like, you know.
Right, but and as a result, you have other opportunities now. Your boy is 11 years old. He said, "I want to be with you." If he knew that it's because of the mother and the court, at least he has some facts. Those are facts about what's going on, and he can understand now what he needs to do.
Yeah, that sounds good. And
Are
just
you working on
realizing-
yourself?
Yeah, I am.
Meaning what? How are you working on you?
So, I've been listening to your show for about 2 years now, and I've just been working on myself, trying not to. So basically, I've been doing the silent prayer. I've been watching my thoughts. Unfortunately, some of them get me, just like how I explained to you today. I'm still seeing through it, still trying to see through my thoughts, just trying to ignore them. Sometimes I give in,
Okay.
and get angry, but I have a better hold of my emotions than what I did before.
Right on.
Yeah, so.
Well, stay
I
working on
understand.
yourself so you can overcome the fallen state, that fallen mind you have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, yeah, for sure. I will.
all right.
And also, Jesse, I just want to say one more thing before I go. The wall going up.
Oh, the wall going up.
Amazing.
Let me see what the Great White Hope has to say right now. Hold on.
Thank you. God bless you, and God bless America.
Amazing. The wall
I love
going
the Great
up.
White Hope.
Me too. I mean, all right, man. I wish you well.
Thank you very much, Jesse.
All right, now. Bye.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you. I want you to see this mess that's happening in L.A. right now. It might be happening other places too in the country, but this is happening in L.A. right now. I saw it the other day. I was driving down Jefferson Boulevard, and there were a bunch of people on bicycles just riding in the middle of the street. They didn't care about the traffic. They had no right to be in there. They have bicycle lanes, or you can ride on the sidewalk, but they didn't care. And then people were getting upset because when you drive up on these people and they're in the streets and they don't care, your mind tell you run over them. Why are they in the street? Run over them. And if you're angry, you're going to find yourself running over them because you're unconscious and you're being tempted not only in your head, but outside your head, inside of others. Evil is tempting you in your imagination, and evil tempting you through other people's imagination because it controls them if you don't know what's going on. I want you to see this mess. It's only going to get worse. We have no leadership. We have no police. We have no fire department. We have nothing. But a whole lot of money is being spent on so-called DEI programs and daycare centers and daycare this for women who don't want to stay home and raise their own children because they're jealous of the father. This is from Fox 11. I want you to see this mess, and then I get back to Ryan and other calls. This is from Fox 11. A clash broke out between a white Mercedes-Benz driver and a group of cyclists, ending with the driver complaining to the LAPD that he got attacked by the bikers in Los Angeles, Mid-Wilshire area. Watch this from Fox 11.
Hey, move! Hey, watch out! Watch out!
Watch out, that desperate cry in this dramatic video, scary video. It looks like something right out of Grand Theft Auto, but this is all too real. Road rage on Olympic Boulevard last weekend.
There's a cavalier disregard for human life
Makes me sad for our society, honestly. And it's a miracle that nobody got hurt. It was very lucky.
That from the founder of the citizens group Streets for All, reacting to this white Mercedes driving right through this large group of bicyclists, swerving erratically, dangerously, narrowly missing some of the cyclists who steer out of the way just in time.
Our streets are really wide. They're designed like highways, and sometimes you get people that do just insane things and endanger people. Everyone outside of the car was endangered by that.
Then check out this video posted on social media a short time later. That appears to be the same white Mercedes this time, targeted by the cyclist, jumping all over it, smashing its windows, even chasing away its driver from this area near Hollywood and Highland.
Hake, I just realized, I want to hear what Hake and Joel think. They're my experts for the JLP show. The anchor may be gone. He's not here today. Not now, here today. Did you see that, Hake? I want to hear what you and Joel think about this before I put my 2 cents in, too. This is like insane to me. Do we need to play it over for you?
I don't think so.
Did you see it already?
I caught the gist of it.
Oh, you did?
I think so.
What did you think about it? This is Hake of the Hake Report and an expert on the JLP show. And right now, it just occurred to me, I wonder what other people think about this situation. So they were a bunch of people just on the bicycle in the middle of the road.
Yep.
And then a car going down the road. And I saw this on Jefferson the other day. The car going down the road, and these people in the middle of the street on the bike. And so that reporter blaming the car driver rather than the people in the street. What do you think about it?
It's crazy because you want to. I look at that, and my temptation is to judge both of them because the car is going crazy.
Right.
He's like swerving everywhere, like reckless, and they have no business taking over the road like that. I participated in group bicycle things like that.
And
before. Yeah, because they used to do it like
get in the middle of the street like that.
Yeah, they used to. It used to be a huge crowd, a big like. Once a year or once every few months.
Did y'all see Hake doing that as a young person? What the?
10 p.m. It's like 10 at night on like a Friday night.
Well, this is in broad daylight when I saw it on Jefferson.
Yeah.
And this looked like broad daylight on
They're making a habit of it. And in some cases, these are motorized. These are motorized bikes, but still bicycles or mopeds or whatever.
Right.
So they're thugs, and then the guy is also a thug, and I'm just annoyed watching that thing. I almost don't blame those bicycle people for attacking that guy because he put them at risk, even though they had no business doing that.
Right.
Civilized people, which you could call us weak, but civilized people will keep a safe distance and not just let them go crazy because you'd have no choice, really. Because we've had this on the freeway when I was coming home from Bond at church.
Right.
There was bicycles on the freeway.
Motorcycles.
No, bicycles.
Oh, really?
I think if I remember right, it was a crowd of bicycles on the freeway.
Amazing.
And we just had to go slow behind all these bicycles in the lane until you could get over.
Right.
And some of them were kind of trying to creep over into other lanes. But yeah, you have these disruptive activist. It's almost activist type, just to be messy.
Nice. So, Joel, what do you think? This is Joel of Joel Friday TV, Monday through Thursday, and an expert on the JLP show. What do you think about that? When you see that, what do you think?
If there's anything that wants to kind of wants my little anger to come back, is bicycles in the street. Because
crowds of bicycles or even one bicycle?
Well, even one bicycle, because there's something about bicyclists that have this weird pride about them that they think that they own the road.
That is so true.
And I'm always driving home and they're just in the middle of the street, not caring that they're in the middle of the street, going slow. And they don't even have it's like they feel like they have this false authority on the street. And I'd be like, who gave you the right? So I disagree with bicyclists in the lane at all. They should all be jailed, and their parents too.
Didn't they make bicycle lanes? They took out part of our streets.
Yeah.
So you can have all the bicycle room you want.
Right. True.
But they don't stick in that thing, and also they'll stop at the light in the lane, and they'll be riding their bike on the lane like it's a car, and then they'll stop at the red light, and then they'll go at the green light, and you just got to be behind them going slow. It's just
some of them know how to do it, because I've kind of learned. I used to ride my bike down like a bike trail over when I lived in El Monte area, and you would have to go on the streets to get from the house to the.
Well, sometimes you got to cross the street. You're right.
Right,
But
and so you
these
know how
people
to. But you learn how to stay out of the way. Like you stay one lane over from the right turn, so you let the right turn people. You be on the left side of them, and then when it's green, you go, but you go back over to the right so that you're not in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some people who maybe do decent, but 99% of the people that buy bicyclists, they're always kind of just in the way.
And why do you say, Hake, that the driver put those people's lives at risk when they were the one that decided they're going to ride in the middle of the road? And wasn't no parade, and it wasn't like a day of bicycling where they all know everybody been warned about it. Why do you say the driver put them at risk when they put themselves at risk?
Because it's not like he doesn't see them. He sees them, and he's trying to get through them.
But did he tell them to get in the middle of the road?
No, he did not. They put themselves at risk.
So why you blame the driver then?
Because he's partly to blame for driving that crazy.
No, he is to blame for driving that crazy because that's him in the car doing that. But he didn't put their lives at risk. They put their own lives at risk.
True. They put their lives at risk, and he put himself at risk to catch charges.
He put himself at risk
to catch some
by
charges or get
overreacting
beat
to
up.
them.
Yeah.
And then they put their lives at risk. They could get ran over.
Yeah.
Suppose somebody go by that road drunk and don't see.
Yep.
I totally understand his frustration. Obviously, he
Yeah.
overreacted, but I understand because you have these 10, 15, 20 guys in the middle of the street messing around, and you're trying to get to where you need to go.
Yep.
It's almost like, what do you expect?
Yeah, I ran into that on, I forget what street it was, but down by Culver Park, going over toward, I don't know, one of those overland.
And then in closing, not only that they're wrong for getting in the middle of the street like that, getting in other people's way with cars and trucks. They have the right for that road. They don't have the right for the road like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so they're wrong by that. And then they're going to attack the man's car, jump up on, destroy his car, like the man did something wrong.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
He did kind of do something wrong, but I mean, he invited that kind of attention by going crazy around them.
But if they were smart kids or however old they were, that they would take accountability. Like, oh, okay, I understand. We're hogging up the whole street.
Yeah, nobody has understanding in that situation.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Both parties are overreacting.
Yeah.
Yep. It's terrible too. It reminds me of the street takeovers where they do donuts in the middle of the intersection.
Yes. Same thing.
And you have to turn around, you have to go way over. It's
and one of the reasons that these people don't care with the donuts things and this stupid idea, whoever came with the idea about the bicycles and things, they don't have police now.
Yeah.
They're not going to jail.
Yep.
The police may show up when everybody leaves.
and you, like you said, they're not going to get punished.
Right, they're not going to get punished. So they have no fear of the law. They have no self-control, or they're not being controlled by the law.
It's the Wild West.
It is.
Not in a good way.
What a mess.
Yeah.
Terrible.
My country is gone.
No more civilization.
It is now South Africa. It's South Africa right here.
Yeah, you hear about in South Africa, they stop big rigs and loot those big trucks.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. I hear about that all the time. It's the same thing. They're going to be stopping the big rigs here, too, if they have not already started doing that.
Yeah.
Because no law. You got to govern people who are not self-governed, governed in their hearts.
Yeah, people say that, since people don't have free will, you shouldn't do the death penalty and stuff like that. But that's why you should do the death penalty.
You better do the death penalty.
Put a little bit of fear of God in them.
I'm telling you.